Hello, everybody. It's Lynn here, the Go Live Granny, and it's St. Patrick's Day. It's the 17th of March, 2025, and wow, what a weekend it's been. So, hello, Richard. Hello, Tina. Those of you coming in on Facebook, hopefully, we will have no, those of you coming in on YouTube, hopefully, any minute now, we will have our Facebookers coming in too. I'm asked. We got a little bit of um, a maybe a little dodgy connection with the Wi-Fi here. Let's see how we go. So, how are you all? Can you hear me? Oh, there's Tina coming in on Facebook. She was on YouTube. Now she's in on Facebook. So, how is everybody? Maybe some of you could tag some of the others that come in. We might have some new people coming in tonight. I've made some new friends over this weekend. Good evening, Heather. You'll have to take your car to the shop, but you'll be back. Well, I hope you will be back. It will be lovely to see you back very soon, Heather. So we'll get going in a minute, but it's St. Patrick's Day, and I just thought I would just just you can hear me okay, thank you. I thought I'd just wear my silly green wigs for St. Patrick's Day, but you know what? I'm very hot. This room is very hot, so I might have to take them off. So right, so I am I'm going to go live, Granny. I'm live streaming here on Monday, the 17th of March 2025. As you know, usually I come in on live stream on a Sunday evening. But this weekend's been a very special weekend. So today, it's today instead of yesterday. Yesterday, I was still enjoying downtime with my family because my son got married. One of my sons got married this weekend, and we have had the most amazing time, amazing weekend. And we really didn't want it to end. It was just marvelous, and I'm going to share it with you, some of it. I can't share some of it. Some of it is private. Some of the pictures are private. That's why I haven't put the bride and groom pictures up on Facebook or social media. I have to have permission for all of those sorts of things. So, whew, I am getting a bit hot. I might have to take these off. This room is very hot. But I have other funny things I can put on my head. I've got all sorts of visual aids with me today, and you wouldn't expect it any other way, would it? You can hear probably that I'm very hoarse. I've got a very, very dry throat. It's not sore, but I've had a cold. And of course, the cold arrived in time to make it a bit difficult this week. You know, you can't have a week with Go Live Granny without shenanigans, and you certainly can't have a wedding without shenanigans. So, sorry, I'm fiddling about with things down here. Let's just put that there. So, right, I'm going to have a drink of water, folks, and then we get going. Whoa, dear, oh dear. Let's put this on. When I left for the north of England, I had two bottles like this because I've got a new handbag, and one goes in this end and one goes in that end. Hello, Corrie, for when I'm travelling. Hello, Bob. So when I'm travelling, I have one in this pocket here and one in this pocket here. But as you can see, I've only got my pink one. My blue one is missing. Well, my blue one got left in the north of England, and I said to my daughter-in-law, my blue bottle was there on the table, take it home and have it, and I'll buy a new one. So we've got things down here in the south that belong in the north. They've got some things in the north that belong down here in the south with us. At some stage they might all get sorted out, or they might not. Anyway, I'm going to take off my my St. Patrick's Day wig because I am so hot, so hot that I might melt. Hello, Jean. Nice to see you. So I might melt, and so I think I will take off my. Look, I've got two wigs on. I've got this one, and then I've got this little one I made. Look, it's got. Hello, Finley. It's got a pot of gold. It's got the rainbow. It was all done for St. Patrick's Day. But please forgive me if I take it off because I'm going to melt. And then I better better brush my hair, hadn't I? Because it's a bit of a mess. So let's take that off. But you don't ever expect to see me without something on my head, do you? So why don't I just have my nice big bow for now? Let's put my nice big bow on for now. There we go. There we go. So, wow, what a week it's been. So I last chatted with you last Sunday evening, and I chatted to you from my home. I'm now at my daughter's home. Hello, Claire. Oh, there's Claire. Claire is coming in. Look, and Claire is one of my new friends from the weekend. And Claire has put a smiley face and a purple. Now, Claire is like me. She likes purple. And she and I were purple twins. She had a tiara in her hair. She had a sparkly purple dress. I was so jealous of that dress, but I know where she got it, and I might have to get myself one the same. Then we could really be twins, Claire, can't we? So that's Claire coming in on Facebook, one of my brand new friends from the weekend. And I've made so many new friends this weekend. I've had so much fun, so much laughter, so many shenanigans, all sorts. Too much cake. Um, Tina, before you came in, Tina, I was wearing my curly wigs, but they were so hot. These were my St. Patrick's Day wigs. It was so hot, I had to take it off and put something else on instead. Um, so I did do homage to St. Patrick's Day. There we go. Look. So there's Tina coming in as well. Tina Hyde there. Look, Tina on Facebook. Lots of you coming in. So we've got Finley, Tina, Claire, Jean on Facebook, Corey on Facebook. We've got Bob coming in from Australia on YouTube. There's Bob. There's Richard coming in from Birmingham, probably on YouTube. There's Heather from the States coming in on YouTube. Tina was doing a multi. There she came in on Facebook and she was in on YouTube. So I don't know where she is now, but she's in one of them. So anyway, I set up the live stream and I put it because I like to have my camera the other way round. And those of you who've been watching me for weeks, every time I've started the other way round, and then it flipped on its own. And I don't know why it's doing that. And this time I was set up with the broadcast a few minutes before I went live, and I put it on the stand in landscape, and then when I looked, it had gone into portrait. So we'll stick with the portrait. It's what we've got to do. So I can't help it. I don't know what's going on. My phone's being funny. But let me take you back to the week in the run up to the wedding. As you can imagine, there would never be a run up to a family wedding without some shenanigans. So let's see. I was going to make notes, and then I never had time to make notes because somebody came to the door and we were chatting. So I'll just have to do it off the hoof and try and remember what I was going to talk about and make sure. I've got very heavy catarrh. One of the shenanigans of this week was that my daughter got a very heavy cold on Wednesday, and she was really all bunged up. And by Thursday, she'd given it to me, and I was all bunged up. But fortunately, with the nasal sprays that I was using that I'd already been recommended by Kath, nothing to do with the wedding. She'd recommended these 2 or 3 weeks ago. I seem to have got the worst over on Friday. So I got the cold on Thursday, worst bit on Thursday and Friday. Not too bad for the wedding, fortunately. So Finley's saying that Bob is his brother Wesley. Wesley is actually not from Australia. Okay. Right, so Wesley is Bob. Is Bob Wesley? Is that the same person? Are we talking about one and the same? You do get me confused, between you. I get very confused. So anybody who's watching in, any of my new friends that I met yesterday, if any of you are watching in, do come and chat in the comments. Claire's jumped straight in and joined the gang. So Claire, this is the Go Live Granny community. Some of these people come in and out every week. Some of these people have been watching me for years. Years and years. A lot of them have been watching me since COVID and lockdown when I did live streaming every night. You saw the wigs, they were very funny, says Tina. Um, Corrie's popped over to to YouTube. She said there's a bigger screen there and she's saying, "Hi, Kath." So I think Kath must have come in. Hello, Kath, if you're sitting there in the background, hello. Um, and Andrew's coming in on, he's coming in from Scotland on Facebook. Hello, Andrew. Claire's dinner is ready. She'll join back on after if we're still here. We will still be here. We're usually here for an hour, 2 hours, depends how it goes, Claire. So depends how slowly you eat as to whether we're still here. I'm sure we will be. Go and enjoy your meal and then come back and see us soon. It's lovely to have you here. So, folks, where do I start? Right, let me go back to last Sunday. And I was at home. And I had, you've just been to Slimming World and maintained again tonight, Andrew. Andrew's maintained at Slimming World. Well, I wonder whether I will have maintained on Friday. Friday is my Slimming World weigh-in. If I'm here with my daughter, it's Friday morning. If I'm home on the Isle of Wight, it's Thursday evening. But I will be here on Friday for weigh-in. I'm hoping, because Tasha and I got back on plan today, because we didn't stay on plan over the weekend. There was cake. There was all sorts of goodies. I didn't go too rogue, but I didn't stay totally on plan. Good evening, Hazel, coming in from Australia. Good morning. She's saying good morning because Australia's morning, and we're saying good evening. Good day. Good day. Is that what we said? So, Tina's saying she's feeling a bit fed up. One of her fillings has fallen out. You're hoping I will cheer you up. Well, I will do my damnedest, Tina. That is what I try to do. I try to make people laugh. And a lot of people say I do make them laugh. So some people have told me I'm stupid. Those people are not welcome here, are they? We don't worry about them. Andrew's saying they say you weigh less in the morning compared to night. Yes, I know, Andrew. So when I'm on the here in Wiltshire, I weigh in on a Friday in the morning. If I go home and I'm home for my next weigh in, I weigh in the evening. I've usually put on weight, but only because you get heavier in the evening during in the morning. Then when I come back and weigh in here, I suddenly lose a lot of weight. It is what it is. I've still lost more than 3.5 stone. No, not more than 3.5 stone, about 3.5 stone. I'm pretty pleased with that. I would like to give a big shout out and a credit to Tina, though. Tina Hyde, who's in here. Look, she's feeling a bit fed up, so I'm going to wiggle a gold star at her, except I haven't got a gold star here to wiggle at her, but I will give her a virtual gold star because years ago I had a very bad skin problem, and I was a lot bigger than I was as well here. And that my skin problem, we will get to what happened this week, but I'm going to introduce because Tina needs to be made to laugh. She says, I've been making you laugh for years, Lynn. You're quite optimistic that I'll make you laugh. Well, I'll do my best anyway to make you laugh today. So yes, years ago I had a terrible, terrible skin problem on my leg, on my right leg. And it was so much so that I became a bit of a recluse and I didn't go out because my skin was raw. I'd rub it, I'd scratch, not trying to scratch, but sometimes you can't help it. And my skin was raw on my right leg and it was like a tree trunk and I never wanted to go anywhere. I was like a recluse, not like I am now. And the only place that I would go probably was to the hospital for an appointment to see the skin doctor. And all the skin doctor ever did was give me pills. Here, go take these pills, go away, come back and see us another time. And I was kept doing that. And Andrew's sending Tina a gold star. Look, he's put the gold stars up. Thank you. And so Tina and I had been friends for some years. I can't remember when we first met Tina. Can you? I don't remember. Anyway, I've been friends with Tina for some years. And she knew I was struggling with my skin. And You know, sometimes somebody talks to you and tries to tell you something, and unless you're ready to listen, you don't always hear what they're saying. And Tina tells me that she tried several times to have a conversation with me about my skin. But obviously, I wasn't in the listening mode at that point or ready to hear what she had to say. Then eventually, one day, I was ready to hear what she had to say. And what she said was, "We're going to change your diet." And diet as in what I ate, not the quantity or that sort of thing. And what she did, she helped me to go on a grain-free diet. I've been going backwards and forwards to the hospital for 5 years. I went round to Tina one day. She did a cooking demonstration, a cooking lesson. She gave me lists of foods that were good to eat and foods that were not good to eat, just because of the content of what was in them. And within 5 weeks, my skin started to clear up. No pills, just good food. Tina herself had researched it because she had been so very ill herself and she was not getting answers. So she found the answers herself. So here's Tina, who sort of started me back on that track to having my good health. And then, of course, I've done that. I can't remember how many years ago that was, Tina. Can you? But since then, my skin cleared up. I mean, it still used to be still a little bit bad, but nothing like it used to be. You know, not great big wide raw legs. You know, scratched raw. Um, Casey, who is Casey? I need a little clue here. Somebody's coming in as Casey. Is this one of my new friends, or is this one of my old friends hiding? Or am I missing who it is? Say, give me your name, unless you want to say it in disguise, but I don't know who I'm talking to. Maybe I do, but maybe I've just forgotten because I do forget. Anyway, oh, it's. Oh, how silly of me, Kath. How silly of me not to realise who it was. One, one of my best friends, and I didn't know because you've changed the title of how you appear on here. You got me confused, but then I do confuse very easily, don't I? Um, so, so Tina set me back on that, set me on that path to to recovery. I also have to another big shout out for Tina because years ago I used to run a network group for businesses on the island. Those of you who know me well know I live on the Isle of Wight, not born and bred there, but lived there for well, mostly. I don't always live there now. I live at my daughter's a lot of the time, but my home is on the Isle of Wight, and I've been there for 25 years on the island, first in London and then there. And then I was wanting to help the businesses on the Isle of Wight to get more business. And so I did a network group to connect them and help them to get more business. And you know, you don't need to do it by huge money. You need to do it by actually introducing people to each other, that sort of thing. And that's what I used to do. And that's one of the things I was good at. And people called me the networking queen. And Tina knew me in those days. And I remember sitting with her in one of our vehicles. I can't remember whether it's my vehicle or her vehicle. Um, yeah, okay, Kath, I get it. Yeah, my voice is struggling. It's not. It's not sore. It's not sore. It's just very croaky. It's a sexy voice, or not, as the case may be. I don't know. Too much talking over the weekend. Anyway. So I remember sitting in the car outside the Eight Bells in Newport on the Isle of Wight, where Tina and I both live. This is Tina Hyde, not Tina Furnival, because we've got two Tinas in the house at the minute. And I was struggling to come up with a name for my network group. And I was sitting and thinking, and we were chatting, and all of a sudden Tina said, "How about White Buzz?" As in white, as in the Isle of Wight, and buzz, because there was a real buzz and network, and I was a busy bee networking with everybody, and that was it. And that's how White Buzz was born. So she's responsible for my health. She was responsible for the name of my network group, and probably a lot of other good things as well that I've probably forgotten. Whatever. So Tina is saying, right, look, I'm going to put the comment up. Tina is saying the difference was amazing. I was so happy to see that what I shared helped you so quickly. So am I. I remember you saying that it took you half as long to get to the bus stop after stopping eating grains as it had when your leg was bad. I think we've known each other since about 2010. Yes, probably. So that would be about 15 years. That was the year my dad died, 2010. Probably that long. And yes, that was true. I used to take 12 to 15 minutes to get to the bus stop, that if I want the bus stop that I went to go to Newport. And then there's a chap who lives down one of the roads. I go down to the bus stop, and I was going that way the other day, and I saw him. And then he said, chatted to me out. I was going past, and he was chatting to me outside his house as I went past. I said, I can't stop. I got to catch the bus. And the thing is, these days, it only takes me 8 minutes to do what used to take me nearly 15 minutes to do. And this chap, it's so funny, this chap had said to me one day, as I was going past, he said, he said, you'll get a speeding fine going at that speed. And, so a conversation struck up, with him. But the other day when I saw him, I said, can't stop, I've got to catch the bus. And I only allowed not much more than 8 minutes because it was a cold, not very nice day. And because I nearly died of pneumonia, one of the things I don't do is stand around getting cold and wet. Often I will take a taxi if it's like that. But on this occasion, I thought, right, I'm only going to whiz down to the bus stop and then the bus will come and I'll be all right. And I was. And as I was going past, this chap who told me his name was Duncan, he chatted to me and I said, I can't stop. A day or so later, I was coming outside. I was outside Iceland, and somebody said, hello, Lynn. How you doing?" And I looked at him and I thought, "I know you. You're familiar." And it was Duncan who lives down there. So lots of lovely people I keep meeting all the time. So yes, so Tina, very responsible for giving me a lot of my health back. That was most amazing. And then on top of that, I've now actually gone. I'm actually doing a lot of gluten-free stuff. It's a bit of a mixed match. The skin has now completely cleared up. I mean, I started going, I mix and match it. Good evening, Paul. He's broken his arm. How on earth did you do that, Paul? Paul is coming in from Devon. He didn't see me when I had my silly wig on earlier, but Paul has one of my wigs, but with blue, for a charity that he runs. So Debs has come in. Debs is there, and she said, "Hello, Debs. Are you saying hello? Or are you saying hello and then signing it, Debs? Is that what you're doing? I don't know. Or are you saying hello to yourself?" I'm a bit confused, but it doesn't matter. I confuse very easily so much of the time. Let me have another drink, folks. I will get on to tell you about my week and the wedding, but other things always happen. That was nice. And you might see over at the back there a beautiful outfit. A beautiful outfit. And this was the outfit I wore at the weekend. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. So, yes, so thank you, Tina. So that's introduced Tina, because I don't think Tina's been in with a lot of you new people in here at the moment. So I wanted Tina to, to know that we all love her. She's given you the gay life granny as she is today. And then on top of that, of course, I've recently, well, I say recently, I started December 2023. You had to sign in from a different account on the computer. Oh, communications shenanigans. Yeah, Paul, are you out running now? Oh, you broke your arm while you were out running. Oh, Paul. So you're all a bit bound up, are you? Hopefully that will get better soon. So anyway, oh dear, horrible cough. Doesn't hurt, Doesn't hurt, but it's just a bit noisy. Um, so, yeah, so that was Tina, and I'd go back and wait. I'm so grateful for Tina for the help she gave me. Then, of course, I went started Slimming World when my daughter got married. And you know what? This outfit that I wore on Saturday for my son's wedding, I have to confess, recycle, recycle. I bought this outfit for my daughter's wedding 19 years ago. And for my daughter's wedding, I lost 3 stone. I was I was not wanting to be a blob in her wedding photograph. And I met a friend. I had a friend, um, and it was like 4 months before the wedding. And this friend I met, I used to live on a holiday in a holiday chalet on a holiday camp on a holiday site on the Isle of Wight. And as a member on living there, I had to be a member of either the gym or the swimming pool. And I didn't like the gym, didn't like swimming very much, but that was the lesser of the evils for me. So I became a swimming member swimming membership. And so, but I'm not a good swimmer. Hello, Rachel. Rachel coming in from Devon as well. Rachel and Paul there, both Rachel and Paul Mitchell, used to support and watch loads of the videos, loads of the live streams a long time ago, and back here again now. Lovely to have you back. And so I was not a great swimmer, didn't like swimming out of my depth. So because I lived on site and because my chalet was very near where the pool was, I could run over and see if it was fairly empty and then go in swimming if it was, because I like to swim widths and not out of my depth. I like to put my feet down on the bottom, or I did. I don't swim now. Don't want to do that anymore. But sometimes I would want to swim and I'd have to wait for those doing the lengths. That's why I liked it when it was quiet. So people would do lengths. But before I did, no, so while I was doing that, I met a friend called Pauline, and she was a member of the swimming. She used to, belong to the swimming section. She didn't live on site, but she lived near. And so we used to see each other in the pool quite a lot. And then one day in the September, she said, "Oh, I've just had a Slimming World thing through my door. Would you like to go? Shall we go together?" I had more weight to lose than she did, but that doesn't matter. It was the start of a journey. And because my daughter was getting married and because I didn't want to be a blob in her wedding pictures, I said yes. So between at that time, I started with her in September, and the wedding was in January, the next January, so 4 months. I took off over 3 stone in 4 months. That was some going, but I was so focused. I didn't waver at all. I was so focused, even going through Christmas and all the Christmas food. I did my Slimming World. I stayed on plan, and that's the outfit I bought. And I bought it the week of my daughter's wedding. And I bought it in a department store on the Isle of Wight, Elizabeth Pax. And somebody this week asked me where did I get it, because she didn't know it was 19 years old. Where did I get it? Because she's got to buy an outfit for her son's wedding, I think it was. Where should I go? I said, well, you can't go where I went because I bought it 19 years ago and the Elizabeth Pax is closed. Funnily enough, that store has opened this week, but not as a store. It's become a hub for carnival making, decorations and all that sort of thing, sort of workshops and things. I'm not entirely sure everything that goes on in there. When I'm back on the island, I will go and check it out and let you know. But this outfit, I went in the store. I didn't buy the outfit till the week of my daughter's wedding because I was still losing weight and I didn't want to buy something that was going to still be too big. It was a bit of a risk. Yes, I always take risks. I fly by the seat of my pants, as you will find out if I ever get to telling you about what happened this week. So, what happened? Let's show you. See, so it's a dress. Look, it's a dress. It's got a lovely a lovely handkerchief bottom, like a handkerchief, and then it's got a matching sparkly. Can you see that? It's a sparkly jacket. This wasn't with it. This wasn't part of it. This is very new. This bit. So I went in the shop. My daughter was on the island. My daughter got married from my mum and dad's house on the Isle of Wight. She didn't live here. She didn't live there. Where am I? I'm in Wiltshire at the moment, but I live on the Isle of Wight. I get confused. Don't know where I am half the time. Never mind. Um, so my daughter had come down to the island to go to the hairdressers, try out a hairdresser. She'd had somebody doing her hair for weeks, practicing in the run up to the wedding, and it was a relation of her husband. And last minute, girl couldn't do her hair for some reason. She couldn't come to the wedding. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. So Tasha then had to come to the island and try and find a hairdresser who could practice on her hair before the wedding. So Tasha went in the hairdressers on the Monday, and I went Elizabeth Pax, which was just a few doors along from the hairdresser. And I went in and I looked and I saw this dress, but I rejected it. That dress I would never wear on its own. All right, I don't like it on its own. I love it with a sparkly jacket. So on the hangers, they were not together on the hangers. The dress was there and the jacket was there. And I liked the jacket, but I didn't like the dress. And I didn't think of putting them, why would I think of putting them together even if they match? That's a bit silly, isn't it? Anyway, I didn't. So I thought, well, I like that, but what am I going to wear it with? And I didn't buy anything, and I went out of the shop. And then I think Tasha had her hair done, and so I think I went back. I must have gone back to the shop and went and said, I'm trying to find an outfit for my daughter's wedding. I don't know what to have. And the lady pushed me in the not push me, but she said, go in the changing room. And she went and she collected up some things like the personal shopper, and she bought them in, and she bought me this in, and she bought me the jacket in. And those are what I bought. And it was amazing. So I bought that, but she hadn't. It was a bridal store. They did wedding dresses, they did hats, they did all sorts of things. Mother of the bride shoes. They did the whole works. They did jewelry. So I got almost everything in the store, and it wasn't the cheapest store, but it saved me because, of course, on the Isle of Wight, we're limited to certain shops and things. We've got nice things coming in now, but we were quite limited on those sort of outfits. And I was thinking, oh, if I don't get something on the Monday, I'm going to have to go to the mainland and try and find a hat shop and a dress shop and a shoe shop and all those shops. No, I was so lucky that I got it all, but they didn't have a hat. And oh, hang on, I'm going to have to move you because what I had on my head for both my son and daughter's wedding is in the box that you're sitting on. This is the shoe box from way back then. I don't know whatever happened to the shoes I wore then, but inside the shoe box is my fascinator. Let's get it out and show you. So this is my fascinator that whoa! Come back, folks. Where have you gone? Are you there? You're there somewhere, but I tipped you. Oh my goodness, where are you? Come on. Where have you gone? Oh, where are you? There you are. I don't know what I did. You tipped the camera tipped and the screen disappeared. Right. So if you look closely, this exactly matches that. What happens? The lady who owned the shop said, I can make you a fascinator to match. And what she did, she took the fabric off of the shoulder pads because the shoulder pads were obviously inside and you didn't need to see that they had matching fabric on them. So she took the fabric off of the shoulder pads and made me a fascinator. Let's take this off. let's show you how this one goes. So you see, it goes in on a comb. I didn't just leave it on a comb for the wedding, it was pinned in very well. Do join in with conversations if you want to, folks. When you don't, I think that it's all gone to pot, but I'm sure it hasn't. I'm sure you're just sitting listening, maybe drinking your coffee or whatever. Um, So I was thrilled to bits with that. And ever since my daughter's wedding, it sat in the shoebox that was I had shoes. I can see on the end of the box what the shoes were like, but I don't know where the shoes went. They're probably in my flat somewhere. But they were heeled, small heels. But these days I don't wear any heels. So the other day when I was local here with my daughter, before I even decided to wear that, and this is just so how things happen with me, I found these shoes. I saw these shoes in a local outlet store, an outlet centre, and I wanted them. Thank you, Rachel. I wanted them because they were lilac and sparkly. Didn't have any thought of this at the time, but I thought, oh, I must have those shoes. They're gorgeous. And they were a reasonable price because it was an outlet centre, and they're flat, which is what I wear these days. I usually wear Crocs, but and then once I had bought the shoes and was thinking, I was looking at home and looking in my wardrobe. That was tucked in my wardrobe at the end, where I didn't pull it out ever because I didn't. I think I might have worn it once since my daughter's wedding. Can't even remember. And when I picked these up and I looked at this, look at that, all toning in beautifully. How lucky was I? So that was so exciting. I mean, they are not as comfortable as Crocs, but I wore them for a good part of the day. But I then popped my purple Crocs on, and it didn't matter. Nobody cared because the bride was wearing like a boot, a really beautiful, but a boot, flat booty trainer type things. And the little flower girls, my granddaughters, they were wearing all those sort of things. Nobody cared. You wear what you want to wear, and you look beautiful doing it, and you're comfortable. So I was thrilled to bits to get those. I then, because I've been travelling backwards and forwards, I was thinking, now where's the handbag? I can't even remember. I would have to go back to the photographs to look at the handbag to see what it was like. It's in my flat somewhere, but because I haven't been home very much, because I've got a lot of stuff still to sort out of boxes there, I didn't find the handbag. So, good old Amazon. I did try all my local stores when I was on the island because I like to shop local. I wanted something to go round it. My daughter got married in January, and I didn't have a wrap, but while we were outside waiting for the photograph, somebody wrapped me up in somebody's stole so I wasn't cold because of course January is cold, March it's a bit chilly too. So this time I thought, oh, I'm going to have a wrap. So I got this, and this outfit is so forgiving. It travelled up north in a carrier bag, in the bottom of a carrier bag, rolled up like that. I never had to steam it, iron it, anything. It's so forgiving. It's just amazing, and the jacket too. Um, so it came up here with me. The shoulder pads, one shoulder pad was loose, and the other one had sort of fallen out somewhere in my flat. But as I say, I've got a lot of stuff piled up that I've got to go through. Some of the stuff that came to me when my mum passed still needs sorting. Some of my stuff needs sorting. All my big clothes are now in a huge pile in my ensuite bathroom, which I don't use the ensuite anymore because I've had a lovely new walk-in, disabled friendly shower room done with a posh loo as well. And so I don't use the ensuite, so at the moment I'm using it for putting in stuff that's got to go out to charity shops, stuff, clothes that are being given away. There's a charity on the island that gives stuff to families in crisis, and so all my stuff that doesn't fit me now because I've got skinny, well, not quite skinny, but thinner than I was. It's a pile of stuff going there, but I didn't find the shoes and I didn't find the bag. So quick think, right, let's have a look. Let's go around the shops. Couldn't find a bag. I did try to buy local. So good old Amazon. Now hang on a minute. I'm just going over here because I ordered 2 bags. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm coming back. I always do this, don't I? I always disappear off screen. And so I ordered 2. Now I ordered this bag. And can you see it's sparkly and lilac? Because I thought from the picture it might match these shoes, but you can see it clearly doesn't match these shoes. But with Amazon you can send stuff back. So I ordered it and it actually came like this. It's got its label on this side. It actually came in a cellophane bag. I haven't unwrapped it, that's how it came in the post or in the delivery van. So that is going back. I thought that one would be the one that worked, and I thought this would be the one that I would send back because it's very difficult to tell the colours on those things until they arrive. But look, I think you'll find that's not a bad match. And I didn't realise it was as sparkly as it is when I ordered it either. You couldn't see that. So it was sparkly. Look, it matched. I had my nails, they were sparkly. Look, hearts and sparkles, and so I did that. So that was wonderful. Now, is there something else? What was I? I'm trying to think because I had other things. Oh yes, got bags and bags of things to show. No, not there. Hang on, my cushion's falling off the seat. I'm falling off. The seat's a bit low, so I've put my pillow on it. Right, okay, let's have a look. Not quite sure where. I don't know where I put my necklace. I was going to show you that. I'll tell you what, in the box I've got other things. Let's have a look. So, when I bought this outfit, I even got a necklace with purpley colours in it and sparkle, and I even had earrings. But the necklace over the years, the little gems, whatever they are, the little beads, the coatings come off, so it's not very nice. It was a beautiful necklace. It was a 3-strand necklace, but it came off, and so it wasn't any good for wearing for my son's wedding. And now I can't find. Where did I put my necklace? Let's have a look. I went for the sparkly. Oh, here it is. Is it here? Yes. No. I've got the earrings here. Let me, if I can get the earrings out. And on the day I had trouble getting the earrings in because I haven't worn dangly earrings for a long time, and I've got long nails. Long nails and earrings, trying to get them in is not easy. So the lovely Hanny, who was one of the guests, I don't know if she's in watching, she's made friends with me on social media. She helped me put in my sparkly earrings. Can you see? Look, my nice sparkly earrings. So I had sparkly earrings and a sparkly necklace. And on the day, I mean, I've jumped to the wedding day, but I need to jump back earlier in the week. But one of the shenanigans that I had on the wedding day was I couldn't find the necklace. I've got the earrings. I had another sparkly necklace. I tried to match with it, which would have done, but it twisted itself and we couldn't untwist it. So that was no good. And I'm thinking, where's the necklace gone? Anyway, before I left my daughter's house to go up north, there was some purpley bits of jewellery, and I just thought I'm going to just scoop it all up in case I change my mind or somebody needs a necklace or something. And I put it in my luggage, and I'm so glad I did, because my necklace, my one I needed, was in with all the purple beads. So I found it, fortunately. Um, this was the one that tangled itself up. Look, it was sparkly, but it was a bit tangly there in the middle, and we couldn't sort it out. The bridesmaids were trying to help me, but it didn't work, so we couldn't do it. This was the original. This was the original necklace, and it was beautiful. Look, it was beautiful in its day. Whoa, look, can you see? I don't know if you can see like that. You can see. It was very beautiful in its day, but all these beads, the colours, you can't see, the colours peeling off them. And so that was a no-go. So I went for the silver look this time, and I was very pleased. I bought that locally here on the Isle of Wight, so I had the beads and all that. But I'm gonna zip back to earlier in the week and how the week panned out coming into the wedding. So I had been asked by the bride to be if I would make some things, table decorations for the table. So what I made was something very similar to this. This was the first one, and then this was the mock-up. So it says on the end, I don't know if you can see it because the light's shining. It says I think is it reversing? Wedding time capsule, and a pretty little bow. And it's got a nice pink and a sort of rose gold. So that was my brief. And originally, my other daughter-in-law to be and I, when I was at their place in Cambridgeshire, she helped me make a mailbox. The brief was make a mailbox, and not too tall on the table, and there was going to be one on each table, and the guests on each table were going to have a piece of paper, and they were going to write a greeting or some sort of recommendation for a date to go on, a date night, where to go or what to do, something like that. I can't remember the exact brief it said. And they were going to fold it up and put it into the time capsule. And then on the side of each capsule, on one it said first anniversary, the next one it said second anniversary, all the way up to 11th anniversary. So each year, on the anniversary of their wedding, they're going to open the box, take the money. And I've made them on Velcro. And they will open the box and take out the messages and read them on their anniversary to see what their wedding guests said. And I thought, what a lovely idea. So we did one. My daughter-in-law to be, not to be, the other one. And I kept this one, the bride now, I kept calling her my daughter-in-law to be. Now she's actually my daughter-in-law official. She's been with my son 11 years, so it was almost pretty official anyway. But now, so the other one, my other son's fiance, she has a cricket machine. And when I was with her, we made a mock-up of a first mailbox, but we made a squarer one, and it was so quick on that machine, it was amazing. And I sent it showed this bride, and she said, oh yes, something like that will do. But for me, it was a quick mock-up, but it wasn't stylish enough. I thought, no, I want it to be a bit more stylish. It was just, something we found quickly when we were together. So I wanted it more stylish. And so I looked on YouTube, and I found one of my favourite crafting people on YouTube, and she'd made a mailbox like this. She'd actually made it and put it on hers, and you would have seen in some of my pictures earlier, you would have seen that I was trying to put it on a stand, like those sort of mailboxes, and on a base. But actually, she's decided she didn't want it like that. And actually, that was a jolly good idea, because that was all a bit fiddly and it was all extra work. And this worked perfectly well, sat on the table. But she wanted a fancier font, which was fine. But I have never before done sort of fancy writing. I'm just looking to see if on the table I've got. I can't see what. Never mind. What I can do. Whoops. I can show you in a minute. So we ended up with a nice fancy font. Um, and are we all right? Anybody out there? Can somebody tag Susan, because I don't think she's come in yet. And one or two, if you see other, if you know there's people out there that normally come in on a Sunday and might not know I'm here on Monday, give them a tag. So anyway, Tristan's fiance, she'd got this cricket machine, and we did it on a cricket machine, which is a cutout. It's a cutting machine. It's amazing. But I spent 2 years telling myself I didn't want one of these machines. I didn't need it. I got too much craft stuff. Don't need to spend any more. Don't need one of those machines. And this, I actually made the box by just cutting with a trimmer, and just measuring and trimming and cutting round and gluing. I made the box without any special dies or anything. But it was the lettering to go on the side. Now I can do lettering, and I've done it in the past. But when you get to tiny, small things like this, I would have had to cut each number out individually, each slash individually, and stick it on there. And I had 11 of them to do, and it would have been so tricky to do. So I thought, perhaps I need this. I need some way of doing the lettering. So I just. Having talked myself out of wanting this machine, and I don't want it, I don't need to spend that money, I decided perhaps I would buy the baby cricket. Cricket's a brand name. I'd buy the baby one, and I could just do the writing. So that's what I was going to do. And I had saved up, I'd got £100 of cash back. Lots of you know I whenever I do my shopping, I use a cashback account, go through the cashback account, and get cash back on practically everything I buy. Amazon not very good, but nearly all the other things I buy, I get cash back, including on my travel. Sometimes I only get like 50p or a pound, but all those little 50p's and pounds add up. And I can either take them into my bank account as it adds up, or I can put it into my reward wallet. And if I have it in my reward wallet and let it build up, I can then convert it into a voucher to spend in one of the stores that's on the list. And Hobbycraft is one of the stores on the list. And it's one of the stores that gives the biggest percentage cashback. And if you put your money into your reward wallet, it converts to more. It will give you a bigger spend than if you take it as cash. A few more pounds extra. And I'm always forgetting the extra bit, as you know. So you're late, but not stopping. Just woke up and popped in to say hi. Going to bed now. Tracy, get yourself better. Go and get some sleep and get yourself better. And I'll let you know when I'm back on the island and we can meet up for coffee again soon. So poor Tracy, she's not been very well. But she's going to catch up on her sleep. Nice to see you pop in. And I'll catch up soon, Tracy. You catch up with your sleep. I need sleep. I'm going to have a good sleep tonight. I had a good sleep last night. Didn't have much sleep on Friday night or Thursday night. Anyway, back to the machine. Back to the cashback. So the small machine was £169. And I thought, well, I've got £100, a little bit over £100 in the cash in the wallet. It's coming from Hobbycraft. I've got a Hobbycraft loyalty voucher, and then I noticed that there was £5 off a £20 spend. So I thought, well, there's £7.50, except they won't let you use a loyalty card at the same time as there's the other offer on. So it was the £5 off £20 was a good option, although that £2.50 voucher was expiring this weekend. And I don't like losing loyalty points that I've earned. So what happened? I you keep an eye on, yes, keep an eye on that cough. Make sure it does. Yeah, I will do. I will do, folks. Tracy, thank you. Yes, I think it's a drier cough now. It's not so bad. Um, Tasha came out with her cold on Wednesday. She gave it to me on Thursday. She was bad on Wednesday. I was bad on Thursday, but we managed to stave it off, and it wasn't too bad for the wedding, fortunately. Yes, I knew you meant keep rather than cheap. Don't worry about it. Um, it's very catarrhal. It's annoying, but there you go. Anyway, so now I've forgotten what I was saying. What was I saying? Oh, yes, cashback and the machine. So I travelled back to my daughter's on Monday last week. So I saw you all and live streamed from my house, my flat on Sunday night. Had no shenanigans, no travel shenanigans on Monday. I was ready when the taxi arrived. I got down, to the hoverport. Hoverport transfer to Portsmouth and Southsea was fine. Yes, to Portsmouth and Southsea was fine. Portsmouth to Basingstoke, absolutely fine. And even the Reading changeover, this time they pulled it out of the bag. Those of you who watch much know that for 3 journeys in a row, when I changed at Reading, it cocked up 3 times, and it was a really bad experience. And tomorrow I'm going to be on the phone talking to somebody about those bad experiences and complaining about it. And I've also got Hello Heather. You didn't miss all of my stories. No way. I'm not getting on very far with the stories, Heather. I'm still talking about what was the week. I've been talking about the outfit. So if you want to know about that, you can go back and watch on the replay, Heather. But we're talking about my trying not to buy a cricket machine. And since I'm sitting in front of a cricket machine, you'll know that I weakened and I didn't stick with what I said, that I didn't need a machine. I'm just going to have a drink, folks. Let me have another little drink. There we go. Ooh, I could do with something a bit nicer than that. That's a bit stale water, I think. Never mind, it will do for now. So yes, so I no travel shenanigans at all on Monday, and my daughter picked me up, and that's right. So I had decided that I was going to buy this little machine, and I was going to do it as click and collect from Hobbycraft in my daughter's area. So I messaged her. So what you have to do when you get cash back in your wallet and you want to convert it, it takes about a day and a half. It's not instant conversion. So you have to have about a day and a half before it converts, before you can use the voucher. And I wanted to get, the voucher, the machine lined up. And then somewhere along the line, I had a conversation with my son, not the one that was getting, the ones who've got the cricket machine. And I had a conversation and I said I was going to buy the Cricket Joy, which is the baby one. And they said, no, no, don't do that. They said you'll pay 100 and something. Hello, Freezit Park Lifestyle. Have you got an easier name than that? Freezit Park Lifestyle. I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Nice to see you coming in on YouTube. So Heather's coming back in on YouTube. Freezit Park Lifestyle is coming on YouTube as well. Anybody else there who wants to say hello? There's a few of you watching. Please feel free to join in, or please feel free to sit in the background if you don't want to join in. That's perfectly fine as well. Sorry, I'm holding a piece of vinyl here because this is something I want to share with you in a minute. So I might have to blow my nose. Will you excuse me? Talk amongst yourself while I have a little nose blow. I'll go over here to blow my nose. It's not very beautiful looking at me blowing my nose. Let's move you over there. Oh dear, oh dear. Not very good for a live streamer to have to keep blowing the nose. That's another tissue. And look, even my tissue box matches my outfit. Excuse me. Excuse me very much. There we go. Back again. Back again. And Red Nose Day is not till this next week, I think. You know, when they do all their fundraising. I do have a red nose at home at my flat. Or did I put it in the bag and bring it here? But I don't think I'm going to need it because I'm going to have a very red nose anyway. There we go. So, what was I saying? Yeah, so back to the cricket machine. So they said, no, 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 don't buy the Cricket Joy. You will regret it, because the Cricket Joy was 169. But don't forget, I could justify it because I got £100 cash back. So I thought, oh, it's not too much of a spend, you know. Anyway, they said I would really regret it if I didn't buy the bigger machine, because the bigger machine was not a lot more, but it did an awful lot more. And I would want the bigger machine once I bought the smaller machine. So fortunately, I listened to them, and I know they were right. They were so right. But when I looked on the store on the website, the Hobbycraft that was nearest my daughter's had one machine left, just one. And don't forget, my voucher hadn't converted yet. And so I'd asked my daughter if we could go to Hobbycraft, if she would take me to Hobbycraft. So then I realised that if I did it as click and collect, I wouldn't be able to get extra discount, extra cash back, because if you do click and collect, I don't think you can use I don't think I could do it. I wasn't sure that I could use a top cashback card there. I know something I could only use in the store. So I had loyalty vouchers and this discount and all those bits. I was trying to work it all out to get the very best deal. So in the end, I decided that I wouldn't put it in click and collect, and I had to risk that somebody else might buy it before I got there. So what I did was the voucher converted while I was actually travelling on Monday. Sunday it was there, ready to use. So I messaged my daughter and I said, when you pick me up, can we go to Hobbycraft then? So I'd finished travelling, and rather than go home for a cup of tea, we went to Hobbycraft and we bought the machine was still there. So what I did, I had to ask which of the vouchers I could use, and they were very tolerant in there. So we got the machine, went to the cash desk, and I said, look, I've got a loyalty voucher on the app on my phone. There's this offer that's £5 off for £20. I've got this voucher reward, my cashback, which was about over £100, and etc. So they told me what I would be able to use. So I worked out how much I was actually going to have to pay. Having done that, I stood there in the store, and they were so patient with me. I stood in the store and worked it out what I needed, to pay. And I bought a cashback gift card for Hobbycraft for the amount that I needed to pay at the cash desk. I think we got it slightly out, and so there was a bit of money left over on the gift card. Didn't matter because we used it the next day. So we bought the machine, and that was it. And off we took it home. And look, this, whoa. This is this is what the machine looks like. But actually, why don't I just turn the camera around, because it's there. Can you see it? It's got sticky bits all over it. Yes, it looks like it's old now because I stuck vinyl to it. But the reason being, I stuck all these bits over it, bits like this of vinyl where we cut the letters out. I was having got the machine and got it home. That was it. I was on the steepest learning curve ever. Bearing in mind this was Monday, I had to work out what I needed. You like me so much, do you? Freeze it Park Lifestyle. Thank you. That's very kind of you to say that. I love you all coming in and joining me too, I have to say. So, bearing in mind the bride decided that she wanted fancy font, rather than that. I chose this font because it was easy. Yours is the same colour. Heather's got a cricket machine. Heather is one of my crafty friends. We met through the craft world. The light's not very good here, is it? But can you see that? And so the bride decided she wanted a fancier font. And it was right. It was better to have a fancier font on it. And I have put pictures on my Facebook page today of the mailboxes done, finished. But so, as I say, on the steepest learning curve ever. And bearing in mind, I had have something that was presentable to go on a table at a wedding, not some old, just anything that didn't matter. It was for a wedding. I've never worked with vinyl before. I was, as I say, on the steepest learning curve. But Tristan's fiance had said to me, "Don't buy Hobbycraft vinyl. Buy," she gave me a link to Amazon. So there were shenanigans all the way, I can tell you. So this is what I got. I got this big packet, and in this big packet were lots of different colours of vinyl. Okay, and what you do, the cricket machine, you need either a computer or a phone. So I had to learn to Bluetooth the machine to my machine, and my phone had to pair up on Bluetooth. This is all a new total experience to me 4 days before the wedding. I do set myself some challenges sometimes, but I was determined that if I was going to buy that machine, it was jolly going to work for the job. But then I had, wait a minute, let me see. So the machine comes, this is not a cricket one, this is a cheaper version, but it comes with mats. And this has got an acetate on it, but under here, this mat is sticky. So what you do is you lay whatever you're cutting, and this machine it cuts vinyl, it cuts fabric, it cuts all sorts of different things, even I think thin balsa wood, wood as well. It's an amazing machine, and that's why they wanted me to buy the bigger one and not just the little one that would only do, for 169 I would just be doing lettering and not much else. My machine actually, it's a machine that came out about 3 or 4 years ago, so it's not the most up-to-date version, but wow, what it does do is amazing. And because it's not the most up-to-date version, it was down on offer at £229, and they're selling for more than 300 in other places, 350, something like that. So so what I did, this is I did the math, so I thought I've got 100 in the in cashback. I then got the £5 off a £20 spent. I wasn't allowed to use the £2.50 loyalty voucher as well, so that had to go sit over there. And then, but it was expiring in 4 days' time, or 5 days' time, and I didn't want to lose my £2.50 that it earned. And then, because I bought a top cashback card for paying for the machine, I got £9 off, £9 cash back on the gift card. So that was £9 back there, £5 and the £100. So what did I say? £114 I had towards it. It was amazing. I just kept finding all these things. Of course, once I bought the machine, it then gave me another whole collection of loyalty vouchers. So I think it gave me 3 or 4 loyalty vouchers, £2.50 each. And yet the next day I needed to go back and get some other bits because I didn't know what I needed in the way of tools and things like that. And you have to have weeding tools and different things. And so I sort of studied that, and then went back and got those the next day. So we used the loyalty vouchers for those. And then I bought a gift card again and got more cash back on the gift card. I've really got this sus now to get as much cash back on anything as I can. Um, so so this is the mat you lay things on. Then I'm working to do the designs, but on my phone screen. I am looking to purchase um, a laptop soon. You know, I can't afford an all singing or dancing laptop, but I am going to see what I can get. I would rather have a laptop. It would make things like this easier. It would like make working away from home easier, because of course my main computer is where I live, and I spend a lot of time at my daughter's, and I have to keep borrowing her laptop. So that's not really fair, and it's not very easy sometimes. But so I'm doing the designs, learning steep learning curve, designing on a phone. My phone's an iPhone, so it's not that small. But trying to do designs on there, and so you have a mat on there and you design it out, and then you move it about, and then you want the letters smaller, and you try to do it on a tiny screen like that, and it goes much smaller, and then you've got to try and get it bigger so it goes bigger. I'm sure, Heather, if you've used yours a lot, it will be easier. But when you're doing it for the first time on such a project, not to be recommended. Shenanigans are going to happen, aren't they? And they did. So um, I knew that I could lay out. So I had got to do 12 boxes. So I needed wedding time capsule 12, no, not 12, 11. So I had to sort out the fancy writing, and then do wedding time capsule 11 times. And then I put the date on the side. So I needed the date 11 times. And what else did I have? Oh, and I had the wedding date. So the date, and on the other side, it was first anniversary, second anniversary, third anniversary, up to 11 anniversary. I knew it could all go on there at once. But what I didn't know, and I have learned since, from two different people, one at the wedding and one tonight, is that so my difficulty was when all this was going to be on here, how on earth was I going to peel off the vinyl to leave the lettering underneath? Because what happens, this vinyl comes in, that's a small sheet, comes in a 12 by 12, the same as that. And one side of this is a backing. So you lay it down with its back onto the sticky part of that mat, and then the machine, you program the machine, and it knows if it's vinyl, that it's only going to cut just the vinyl but not the backing sheet. Very clever machine, and so it will cut that, and then you peel the vinyl away, and just looking, because I can't see where it's gone. And I don't know where I've put it. Oh, right, I don't know. I had the tools on here just now. So there are things called weeding tools. And a weeding tool is like, it's got a very pointy hook on it. And so you put it on the vinyl and you pull the vinyl up, so the spare vinyl you pull away, and you pull out all the bits you don't need, and it leaves the lettering underneath. It's much easier on the laptop, says Heather. You bet it is. But I was doing it on a phone for the first time ever, on a deadline, and a dodgy internet. I forgot to put that bit in because that really nearly scuppered the whole thing. But I was determined it was going to happen, and it was going to work, that I was not going to panic. But of course, I put this down on the mat, did my cuts, and then thought, can't see the backing. Well, that side looks incredibly like that side, doesn't it? One of them, I managed to challenge nicely. I did, Heather. I was determined. But one side of this is slightly shinier than the other. there is a backing on this. When I was telling um, my son's fiance about this, the one who talked me into the cricket, and I'm glad she did, she said, "But it's got a white backing on it." I said, "Mine hasn't. Mine." She went back to the link of Amazon that she gave me to order this vinyl, and in the picture, this is in rolls, and it had a white backing on it. But when it came to me, it was in a big packet like this, and it did not have a white backing. And I didn't have the best light in here. I do have. I did buy, because I'm working here at my daughter's a lot. I did buy this LED light, so I have that, and I have it over the table or over my knitting or wherever I'm working to make it easier. But don't forget, I'm getting tighter and tighter. My eyes are getting dodgier and dodgier with the tiredness, and I'm trying to do something I've never done before. And I'm trying to get a backing off, and then realizing that I cut it on the wrong side, because you could bet your bottom dollar if I was going to put it in that way or that way, it was going to go in the wrong way first time. Shenanigans, wedding shenanigans, I told you. Oh dear, oh dear. Everything goes wrong that can go wrong in my life, doesn't it? So I thought, oh gosh, I've cut it on the wrong side. Now, I didn't have a huge amount of pink. Well, I didn't think I did. I thought I'd only got one sheet of pink that matched. As it happens, I found two more sheets that would do a blind man good to see it. It was near as damn the same colour. And unless you were looking like this, everybody was looking, they wouldn't know it wasn't quite the same colour. So once I'd realised I cut it on the wrong side, I thought, oh, I wonder what'll happen. Shall I just turn it over and see if it will cut and it'll be okay? And that's what I did. And it was okay. I wasn't sure whether it would cut through the backing and it'd spoil it the other side or what. It didn't. But on more than one occasion, I put the piece in the wrong side. I didn't learn the first time. My eyes were tired. Anyway, I managed it. But I decided that I was going to cut each one, do each one on a small I cut the vinyl out, because I had this idea that once I got a 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl, if I cut them all in one go, and I do know the process now, there is a way to do it, but I didn't know it then, and I know it now. So it was a 12 by 12. I thought, if I've got them all on there, I've got to try and peel the vinyl off. Without the vinyl, I've only got two hands. So I'd need to hold the corners of the vinyl, but I'd need another hand to pull out all the little bits of vinyl that we don't need and stop this sticking down there or sticking to me or sticking wherever it shouldn't stick, because that's what vinyl does. And so this is what I did. Hello, Sam. So I cut them. I cut out the bits. So that one actually is the spare vinyl of where it says first anniversary. It's all a bit skewed now. So I started cutting them individually, but time was marching on, and then so now we're on Friday, right? We're leaving on Friday night. One of the children here, my daughter's had a doctor's appointment at 5. So my daughter said, oh, well, we'll probably leave at 7 then. Her husband he works from home. He'll probably be finished work and we'll go at 7. We had a caravan booked for Friday night, and then on Saturday night we were in the venue. It was a farm. It was an old farm, and there was a barn. The wedding venue was a barn. It was beautiful, and there was a house, or a barn, a farmhouse. And there was a kitchen, and then were various rooms downstairs, and then upstairs as well. I plumped for an upstairs room, although my legs are not so good, because upstairs I could have an ensuite room. If I was downstairs, I would have to share a bathroom. And for me, I have to pop in the night often. There would be nothing worse than popping out in the night and finding somebody already in the loo. Don't want those shenanigans. So I thought, I'll get up the stairs. And actually, the stairs were very easy to climb, so it wasn't a problem. So, anyway, do you think we left who thinks we left at 7 o'clock on Friday night? You'd be very right if you said no, we didn't. So it turned out that my daughter's one of the children had a doctor's appointment. That was fine, that happened. My son-in-law suddenly got a huge amount of work come in that he had to do on Friday. Well, that was okay because I was still working on the vinyl. The boxes were made, it was just all the lettering to go on them. So I thought, well, I'll keep working and keep working. But I didn't want to get at the point where he suddenly finished work and said, right, come on, it's time, we're going. Because when he wants to go, we would need to go. It was only fair to be ready to do that. But his work seemed to be going on and on. But one of my granddaughters came in, and my life was saved by her, I think, because no, before that we'd had an issue. I'd had an issue. I thought I'd got it all working, and the machine was working away. I'd set it to work, and I went to the loo, and I came back, and it had stopped, disconnected. Well, the internet's bad here anyway. And then my grandchildren had come in from school and they'd all gone on their gadgets, hadn't they? And of course, they kicked the internet out. They didn't know, not their fault. Why would they? I didn't know it would happen. Anyway, I said to my daughter, you're going to have to get them off the internet if we're going to finish this project. So that's what happened. But also, hello, Jean. Hello, Jean. Sam's saying his friend Jean is saying hello. So my granddaughter, who's brilliant at maths, which was such a boon, because she could see I was struggling, and she came in to see my machine, and then she worked it out. She worked it out that we could get them all on the sheet. She worked out how to do it and get them all on the sheet without wasting too much of the vinyl, because we didn't have a lot to play with, not the right colour. And so she worked it all out, on here. When she did it, we did have some of the first anniversary, second anniversary along here. Then the dates suddenly decided to put themselves across the middle. And then we had the other anniversary bits down here. We know how to do that now as well. We've learned how to do it. But when I was doing it, I was working on my phone, and I could only see half the map on the design. So I couldn't see the rest of the map. So I was only putting it in that side. But she then showed me how to enlarge it so I could see the whole map on there. Well, shenanigans, we had it. Finally, we left here at 11 o'clock at night, and it was a 2.5 hour journey. So we arrived at just after 1:30 in the morning. We did it in one run. We didn't stop. We managed not to have to do loose stop or anything. And but what had happened? We'd cut it all. That's right. We'd cut it all here. We'd left the vinyl on, but it was all cut, and we'd done a spare one of each. We managed to get a spare one of each on. So I thought, if we've got that, I could make it up when I get there. And if I don't have any sleep, I don't have any sleep. I knew I could do it if I'd got them all cut. So, the internet worked when we kicked the others off the internet. It played ball, it cut all the letters out. That was lovely. So then I thought, well, that's fine. I gathered all my craft stuff up and put it ready to go. So we arrived at 1:30 in the morning. 3 of the kids went and got themselves straight to bed. But this one who was helping me, bless her, she knew I'd got to get this project finished. So she came, we set up on the table. We didn't take the machine with us because we didn't need, well, we hoped we wouldn't need the machine. We wouldn't know how to do any internet stuff there or whatever. So we decided that wasn't going with us. But what we did, we got this out and we sat there, and she She did the weeding with the sharp tool that's a pokey bit that you get all the vinyl out. I held the ends of the vinyl like this, and I was peeling it back as she was poking out the bits. It was teamwork. Don't forget the letters were very little, and particularly when it was in fancy font, it was harder. And those slashes between the dates, they were an absolute bugger. It's a good job that she'd done me spares, because what happened, we managed to peel all the top vinyl off, leaving all the lettering on its backing on that sheet. And then what you have to do is you get some transfer tape and you put it down over, so that was this was what would be on the mat with the letters in. You peel this bit away, and then it would leave all the cutout bits on the backing sheet, and then you get a piece of transfer tape that size and you put it on the letters. But this was a vital piece of equipment. They sell special tools, but I wasn't going to pay for a special tool that did the same thing as a credit card or a over 60s club B&Q diamond card. So you have to press down and press down. So, press the tape so that the letters stick. And of course, you start pulling it up, and some of the letters haven't stuck, and you go back and you push it down. I'll have to do a demonstration one day. You use a credit card too, Heather? Yes. Well, on that second day, I bought the machine the first day, and then I went back on the second day. And of course, I'd got all those loyalty points that I got from the machine the day before, and the offer of £5 off a £20 spend was still current. So what I did, I bought more than one thing. So I said, right, let's have the £5 off a £20 spend there, because I couldn't use it with the loyalty vouchers. So I was trying to find the tools, and the Cricket branded ones are very expensive. Then I turned around the other side, and the Hobbycraft weeding tools were so much cheaper, and they didn't have anything like that in it. I thought, I don't need something like that because I can use a card like that. So I saved myself a lot of money by not buying the top brand stuff, and that was amazing. Hello, Debs. It's ages since you used your Cricut. You must get it out and use it. Mine's going to be used a lot. So anyway, so what we did, 1:30 in the morning, we arrive. They all go to bed. One of the twins sat with me at the table. Bless her. I didn't ask her to. She was just marvellous. She really saved my bacon, I think. And so together, many hands make light work, isn't that what they say? So she was doing the weeding, what they call weeding, and I was pulling the vinyl up. And we had to keep on going and being very careful and making sure, because I'll tell you what, that blooming little slash between so you've got 15/3/25. When she did it, she was putting a 0 before the 3. I said, don't put the 0 before the 3. I know really we should have 15/03, 15/03/25, but it's another 11 numerals we've got to deal with, because we were doing 11 of them. And so I said, if you don't put the 0 in, that's 11 less zeros that we've got to sort out. Time was too short, and it didn't matter whether it was 03 or just 3. I don't even know if the bride even bothered about it. I don't think so, because she didn't say anything. Anyway, it was a nightmare. So anyway, twin number one, she helped me get all that off, and then she went to bed. I said, go to bed now. And then I spent, so 1:30. I think we probably had done that in about half an hour, between half an hour and an hour. We managed to do all of that. She went to bed. I then did all the transferring, bit by bit, each little bit aside. And then I had to cut I'd taken the trimmers with me. Then I had to cut all this strip off. I just I'd gathered up all the this gold. I'd got so many different golds here. I'd got, harvest gold and rose gold and this gold and that gold. I just scooped the whole lot up, took it with me to make sure I'd got what I needed. And so I had to cut all those strips and then get the numbers on. And finally, I finished at 5 o'clock in the morning, which would have allowed me 2 hours sleep. I run well on adrenaline, I have to tell you. Not for more than 1 or 2 days in a row, though. So I finished at 5 o'clock in the morning. But my daughter and I had to be at the wedding venue at 8 o'clock in the morning. And we were 10 minutes away, and we had to get up and get dressed and grab something quick to eat, just some fruit and yogurt, before we headed over to the wedding venue, because we were on duty with the little grandchildren, and then we were having our hair done and all that sort of thing. So then we fly by the seat of our pants, as you can see. But long story short, I made it, but then I got into bed with 2 hours that I could sleep. Do you think I could go to sleep straight away? I probably had about an hour and a half, but it didn't matter. And it lasted all the way through till almost the end. So the wedding, we were at the wedding venue at 8. The carriages were at 12:30 at night. I left at 12:15, and I only left then because my granddaughters were escorting me. The wedding venue was here and the house was just here, but it was across gravel, and it was with Navy Nora, my walker, across gravel, and then I had to get upstairs to my bedroom. So I had to leave when they left because their daddy wanted them back. Daddy and mummy had gone, and they wanted to make sure they were in and safe. So I had to go when I was called. So I went at 12:15 back to the house, and my youngest granddaughter was in my room. She was laying on the floor because she'd wanted to be in Granny's room. Nana was going to have the two little ones in with her, the bride's mum, but the older one of the two wanted to be in with me, so she wasn't in my bed. She was on the floor. Mind you, I had a king-size bed, so she could have been, and she wouldn't have been bothering me. But anyway, she was flat out when I got there. She was zonked because they'd been on the go all day. They're 3 and 5, those two, and they were so beautiful. So anyway, so that took us up to, I got there and I was fine, and then the hairdresser and the makeup artist were there. There was a room where the bridesmaids could get ready and have all the makeup and hair done, and there was another room where all the groomsmen were round the other side. And so my son-in-law, actually, he took us across, but then he had to go back and collect the other children who were still in bed. He ran us early and left their children in bed because the wedding wasn't until 12, so they didn't need to get up at silly o'clock. So they stayed, and he took us and they went back. So when he arrived with them, I had to go and collect my stuff. I went to I went to the car for something. I can't remember what it was, but I went to the car. I know. My granddaughter was doing some makeup on me, and so we went and did it. She did it in the car. I don't have much makeup usually, but she did a little bit of eyeshadow to match my outfit, and so we were doing that. And Deb says, nice, not cricket, but it fits it. A company makes an engraving tool. You can put thin metal on a straight mat and make usually a different animal outline each year. You must have been shattered. I wasn't too bad, Debs. I run on adrenaline. And even when I went back to my room, if you've seen the video that I did at the end of the night, I was back at my room before 12:30. I didn't go to bed till nearly 1:30. I was so on a high from such a wonderful day. I sat doing the video, and scrolling through my photographs. They were amazing. And I didn't want to take my outfit off. It was too lovely. But I must tell you about, the wedding itself. I've told you either side of the wedding. The wedding, best wedding I've ever been to. I've been to some lovely weddings, but my son and daughter-in-law have known each other 11 years. I met the girl at the wedding who introduced them, and boy was I glad she introduced them, because it's just was so lovely to have Cheryl, my daughter-in-law, come into our lives. It was just amazing, and she's been such a wonderful part of our family. And now it's totally official. um, but no, it's been wonderful, and so I met the person who introduced them, and then I met the most amazing friends of theirs. They go to festivals, but not the sort of festival. I've always avoided festivals. I don't like the idea of mud and camping and rain and all that sort of thing. And I'm not a pop music person, so festivals don't actually do anything much for me. But they go to some family festivals, and I see these are wonderful pictures of them with their friends, and they look like they were having such fun. Well, these friends have said, I've got to go to the next festival because I met all these friends. And you know what? The whole day was filled with so much love. The whole place oozed love. I didn't hear anybody have a crossword or a grumpy moment. No, a whole day without anybody being grumpy or cross. The staff at the wedding venue were lovely. Kids were diving here and there because it was very much a kids' wedding too. And they were running as the waiters were coming. They didn't mind. They didn't have a problem with it. I think my daughter's just maybe there. I don't know. They didn't have a problem with it. It was just so wonderful. And everything was so well thought out. The bride had done such a great job organising everything, and obviously my son had fitted in with doing stuff. So they did their own. They did their own. All sorts of things they did. So what did they, but they didn't have, they had shenanigans on the morning of the wedding. There was when my son walked into the wedding venue, there was supposed to be trees, big trees on the table. Not trees, but decorative trees on the table, and they weren't there. And if they hadn't been there for the wedding, it would have made a totally different look. So he did a quick phone call to whoever it was supposed to be, and the people who were bringing the trees, their son was ill, and they got to go and deliver him somewhere so that they weren't bringing him sick to the wedding venue. So that's why the trees weren't there. The trees arrived. That was okay. So of course I'd had the shenanigans of the internet not working and all that. That was fine. I managed to, so as soon as I got to the wedding venue, I parted with my mailboxes, and they all went on the table. They had done a sheet out explaining all about what the guests had to do for the mailboxes, and right there what they had to put on their bits of paper in the mailboxes and the messages. So that was being printed, and they had other things that were being printed, and they found a printer. But if they had this design and then that design, there was £25 cost to each design. So to save the costs, what they did, they had it put rather than so if they'd have just had this design done, they would have all been cut up and just ready to present. But because they had this design and they didn't want to pay £25 and another £25, what they did, they had it put all on one big sheet, and so it was only one £25 cost. But Toby had to cut them up. And there was an issue because they were supposed to arrive and they didn't arrive, and that they hadn't put enough postage on them. So what happened? I can't. Yeah, I think that's what there was the shenanigans, and he had to pay extra postage for them. That's what I think they had to be done again. There was an issue, and sorry, hang on. Um, so yes, so there was. I know there was some sort of issue around them, and he had to cut them. So we had we had relations coming up, or near where the printers was. So yes, I think they had to be redone. So there were relations where the printers were, so they could collect and bring, but they couldn't bring them to Toby before the wedding, the day before the wedding, and Toby needed them because he had to cut them up because he had them all done on one sheet. They had to be cut the day before, so they couldn't bring them across to him. So he had to drive. They collected them from further down country, which was brilliant, but they couldn't actually deliver them, so he had to go and get them from them and bring them over. I'm trying to remember what other shenanigans went on. There were more shenanigans going on. But it was a beautiful wedding in a barn. The bride oozed happiness. The groom oozed happiness. Everybody oozed happiness. It was a wonderful service. The bride was given away by her mum. Her dad was there, but not able to walk her down the aisle. It was just a wonderful, wonderful occasion. I met so many people. I've had so many lovely conversations with their friends. And there was a bar over one side, and then there was the venue, and there was like a courtyard. So we were out in the courtyard. The sun shone. It was a bit chilly, but I'd got this wrap, and this wrap came off Amazon, and it was such a great match to my outfit. I couldn't believe it because you can't tell the colours. The only thing about it was the hook fell off halfway through the day. The hook that does it up, so it kept slipping off. But it was wonderful. It was perfect. And then I had. It doesn't look so beautiful now, but I was given a beautiful floral bit to go on there. That was wonderful. A little floral corsage, they call them, don't they? Not a floral bit. A corsage. It's a little bit dead now, but it was beautiful. And the bride and her friends ordered these. They had so many things. So many people joined in to help her with all the things. But I know, in the bar area, there was a bar, and there was the photo booth was in the bar. And I mean, we were outside for ages and ages. They had the most wonderful photographer. We've seen a few of the photographs. We had a sneak peek today of some of the photographs. She was amazing. She did so many photographs, and the ones we've seen already are lovely. And of course, there are those of us who never put our cameras down. So they've got a website, and they want us all to load all our pictures up. Hi. Hi, Susan. Susan's just come in on Facebook. She's home now. So it was that sort of occasion where just so happy. I have never been to a wedding that had such, it all oozed. I just don't know how to describe it. But as I was talking to their friends and saying, "Oh, how do you know them?" and and they were telling me all the stories of who met who first, and how they all got to know each other, and they were such fun. They were such fun, and so I had gone across to the bar, not to have a drink. I think I'd gone across. I got in there to keep warm. That's right, because it was a bit chilly. So I went in there to sit in there against the radiator while they were still doing some of the photographs after I wasn't needed in the photographs. And then I was coming out of the bar. Now, this was the funniest ever. I felt like I was on my travels on the train, because out of the bar, it was only a little dip down, but they put a ramp. There was a ramp. Those of you who see, you're late. It doesn't matter, Patricia. You're here now, and it's wonderful to have you here. I've been going for an hour and 3/4. talking about the shenanigans and the wedding from the weekend, the most wonderful occasion. So there was this ramp, and I suddenly felt like I was getting off a train. And there was a chap just about to come in, and who's Dave, but not Dave. He's Matt, and I'll explain that one. Um, he was about to come in, but he saw me coming down the ramp, so he stood to the side. And it was just like a passenger assistant standing at the side of the ramp for me. So I said, "Oh," I said, "you remind me of my travelling on," and I had to explain. But my camera died. It had no juice in it right at that minute. I had a battery pack and I didn't find it all day. I had to keep plugging in at the wall, and I found it the next day in my handbag where I'd put it for safekeeping. Anyway, so I had to go and charge my phone up in the wall. And then I managed to get that video because we recreated it later in the day. Because Dave, who's not Dave, who's really Matt, later on, he was wearing a hat. My son had a big sort of cowboy hat he used to wear a lot. And then when he and his now wife went to Australia, he got lost somewhere, and he was so sad about this hat. So they gave him a hat at the wedding, but it wasn't exactly the same. It was the same style, but it was white, and it had jewelry. It had shiny. It had bits like my earrings. Look, bits like my earrings hanging down all around it. So Dave, who's not Dave, who's Matt, he was wearing it, and I said, "I want to wear the hat." So he said he'd let me wear the hat. And so I gave him, there was this, yes, I gave him the, no. He said, I'm muddling two stories here because I'm tired. He said, "You can wear the hat." I said, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll trade with you." I can't remember quite how this story went. Anyway, I said, I wanted to do some sort of, I said to him, no, it was somebody else I traded with. I said to him, "Come on, I want you to come and do the story we didn't get earlier." And he hadn't got a clue what I was talking about. So he came out with me, though, because he was a nice guy. And we did the ramp bit, and I told him about the passenger assist. So I did an interview with him like I do, like I chat to the guys on the train, and we were videoing it, or somebody else took my camera and videoed it. But unfortunately, somebody at the side made some sort of comment that she didn't realise we were on camera, so I hope it wasn't too bad a comment. I don't really know. Anyway, it was such fun. It was just so reminded me of being on my passenger assist journey. I am feeling better, thank you. As well. Susan and Patricia just joining us. That's not a problem. Yes, I'm feeling better. I've got a very dry throat. It's not sore. My nose is a bit sore, and I got catarrh. But the worst of it was on Thursday. Yes, Tasha had it Wednesday. I had it Thursday, but not too bad. But no, the trade was somebody else. I'd seen somebody with a top hat. These people, they're all festival goers to this wonderful thing they call Shambhala, which is a family festival where they all have such fun, and they all bring their families, all their kiddies. That they have a wonderful time. And somebody had one of their festival hats on because it was that sort of wedding. Come in whatever you want. Doesn't have to be posh. It can be posh if you want. It could be, festival gear, whatever. So they came in whatever they wanted to do. And this guy and this one who was, I'm trying to remember their names. Anyway, whoever he was, he had this wonderful hat on, and it had feathers, green feathers out the top. If you look at my Facebook page, you'll see I've got it on at some stage. And I said, "I want the hat. I want the hat." No. I think I'd said something about the hat. No, before that, he'd gone past me, and I said to my sister, I like the hat. I didn't say I want it. I said, "I like the hat." And she said, "That's coveted. You're coveting that hat." I said, I didn't say I want it. I might want it. I do want it, but I didn't say I wanted it. And so we had a bit of, she and I had a bit of a joke. And then the bride came along and I told her, what had happened. I said I wanted the hat. She said I wanted the hat. She said I was jealous and I wanted the hat. And I wanted it. So she said, well, I'll get you the hat. So she went over to her friend and she got the hat for me. And then later on, the owner of the hat came by and he said something to me. And I said, I might let you have the hat back. I said, I tell you what, we can trade. And I had my silly glasses that are like guitars, my guitar glasses. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you my guitar glasses. And then at the end of the evening, we can trade. And I can give you the hat back and you can give me my glasses back. But of course, I was trying to put the hat on and I'd got this in my hair because the hairdresser did my hair early on and I wasn't yet dressed in my outfit, so I didn't want my headpiece on because I've got to get my dress on. That dress doesn't have zips, it's one that actually goes over the top and it's quite easy. I didn't really want to try and get it on over the hat, so I had this put in once I got that on, and the hairdresser put it in like it was never going to come out. So anyway, so when I had the hat, I put the hat on sort of over the top of here, like that. But then later on, oh, I know, later on, let me finish that story first. So we were going to trade. So he, at the end of the no, that's right. He took the glasses. And then suddenly somebody else took the glasses from him. So I said, well, you can't have the hat back because you haven't got my glasses. You're not going to trade with me. I'm going to keep the hat. Anyway, I then sent my grandson. He's 11 and he was one of the groomsmen and it's the first time he's worn a suit. And hashtag proud granny. Proud granny of all my big granddaughters, 15 and 2 and 17. They looked amazing. We all scrub up very well when we need to. My daughter was the bridesmaid. It was just amazing. And don't even think about where the don't ever think about conversations about. We had conversations about gripper knickers. Those things that hold your tummies in. So we've got private pictures of gripper knickers, and then there was the bra shopping for the girls who needed the strapless bras. My granddaughters needed the things without the strap, all that sort of thing. It's there was so much fun stuff going on behind the scenes for us, but I was proud of them all. They did us so proud. No, I'm not married. I have been married twice and I'm not married anymore, and I'm happily single, and enjoy my life my way. So yes, really proud of all of them. Just so many wonderful things. Dressing up can get complicated. It certainly can, Heather, especially when you've got bumps to push in and bits to do and that sort of thing. For me, I just wore that. I was happy in that. I'd lost 3.5 stone and I know that I scrubbed up pretty well. Lots of people have told me, and I put the 2 pictures up, one of me in the dress and the jacket and then one of me with this on. And my stats went wild on Facebook. I got so many likes and so many wonderful compliments. It was amazing. I do try to go through and thank everybody who posts a comment and says something nice. I really try to do all that. Whoops, I've just noticed that my battery is getting low. So it's not gone red yet. I don't know if I can get... The thing is, because this is standing on a box, I don't know if I can get the wire in. Let's plug us in. Let's see if I can put you up there. And then I can plug in so we don't disappear. Because I now have found my battery charger, even though I couldn't find it on the wedding day. Silly Billy. I should have had one of the grandchildren look after it for me, shouldn't I? And this on here, this is a picture, some of those photo booth pictures. And so because I wanted to wear a sombrero in a photo booth picture, I had to take this off But my goodness, that hairdresser put it in like it was never ever supposed to come out. So we had a right old game trying to get it out. But I did get it out so I could put the sombrero on. Then I wanted it back in. So my one of my granddaughters put it back in. But the funny thing about that was when I went to bed, I had forgotten that I had that to get out and a necklace to get off. And needless to say, I couldn't get the necklace off when I went to bed. It had to stay on. And when I went to the shower in the morning, it had to stay on because I was in the room without somebody who could undo it. So, um, and when I went to take this out, so as I say, my granddaughter put it back for me. When I went to take it out, I couldn't feel whether it's on a comb. It's on a comb, can you see? And but it had clips in as well, and I could not feel where the clip. So it's like 1:30 in the morning. I think I can't go to bed with this on because I will ruin it if I lie on it. You know, I couldn't guarantee that I could lie that way. I'm in the in the bedroom trying desperately hard to get this out of my hair. I had to pull my hair. I was pulling it and pulling it to try and find where the clips were to get it out. So I had to pull my own hair. Thank you. It looks beautiful. This is Freeze It Life Park style. Thank you. But I didn't want to ruin it because you never know. In another few years, I might want to wear it for another wedding. You never know, do you? It's done pretty well, hasn't it? So, oh, and I have to say, one of my granddaughters, one of the twins, she's good at sewing. And bless her. I told you that it had only got one shoulder pad in it, and I couldn't find the other one at home. So I bought some when I was on the island. I got some new shoulder pads, brought them with me. And then also the sleeves were always, they were a little bit long on that jacket. And I wanted them shortened, and my hairdresser said, I mean, I used to do lots of sewing, but not so good now. My hairdresser said, why don't you just run a gathering stitch and pull it up a bit, and it will pull the sleeve up a bit and make a nice little angle. So I got my granddaughter to do it. I will reward her. I said I'd give her a reward for doing it. She would have done it for no reward. She's just so lovely. But she did it, she sorted it for me. And so it did have its shoulder pads in. And so that was fine. Yes, Heather saying, ha ha, oh dear. Is that ha ha, oh dear to this? And then, as I say, I'd got a beautiful sparkling necklace on. I had to go to bed in the necklace, and I had to go in the shower the next morning with the necklace on. My granddaughter, one of the granddaughters, was asleep on the floor in my room when I got there. I mean, there was a little roll bedding thing for her, and she was blotter. She was so like that. She didn't stir at all until late, in the morning. And it was just so lovely. But in the room where she'd obviously just got out of her dress and her shoes, and it was just, I've got a picture of it, just on the floor where she'd got out of it. She had sparkly boots, as did her sister. And it's all those sort of pictures that are so lovely, the collapsed dress on the floor, so many gorgeous pictures like that. I have to tell you, the table place names were done on leaves. They had leaves from their garden, some evergreen leaves. I forgot what leaves they were, and they were painted with our names in gold on the table decoration. I'll put the pictures up. I haven't got all of those up yet. It was amazing. You're sure she was zonked? She was zonked. Those little girls, they were non-stop they were there at the venue by 8 o'clock when we got there, and it was just lovely. They were spinning round and doing things and all sorts. I got so many pictures that I shall have scrolling across my screen when I go home for years and years and years. And here's a beautiful bridesmaid coming in. She's not got her bridesmaid's dress on or anything else with her bridesmaid's dress, but she did bring me a cup of coffee. Am I too noisy? What? Am I too noisy? So the wonderful bridesmaid that is my daughter. Hang on. She's good to me. She's been out to a meeting, and I think I want something on my head because I feel a bit nude like this. I feel naked if I don't have anything on my head. Perhaps for a minute or two, I should put my St. Patrick's Day hats back on. This is how I started the broadcast. Because it's still St. Patrick's Day. There we go. Because I can. But you know, that day, it was just so amazing that day. They had a red tractor at the barn, and my daughter was one of the storytellers for the children who they told stories. They took it in turn to tell stories for the children. There was a children's disco, there was a sweet cart, there was a box that had crisps, lots of crisps and all sorts of things. What an amazing wedding it was. And as I say, not a crossword at all. Not anybody. I didn't hear anybody being grumpy. Nobody at all. It was just lovely. Everybody was smiling, almost like, their smiles were set. There was so much fun and laughter. And of course, the fun and excitement. I mean, we had a disco as well, and the discos were done by all their friends. They have such an amazing circle of friends that they had somebody who was a saxophonist, they had somebody doing one set, and then they had somebody doing another set. They had we had a wonderful best man. The bridesmaids were wonderful. But there'd even been shenanigans with the cardigans for the bridesmaids because some of them had arrived the wrong colour. And when I was with my daughter-in-law the weekend of her hen do, she suddenly was cooking on the day after the hen do, and she suddenly said, "Oh, I've got to go and meet somebody by the road, by a road in a lay-by." What had happened? She'd found these cardigans, these little boleros for the bridesmaids, and she'd got a really good deal. She'd managed to get a really good deal on the bridesmaids' dresses because the colour was being discontinued. So she bought all the bridesmaids' dresses and got all of those. She got a spare one, which her mum, who was a dressmaker, cut up and made ties for the men, handkerchiefs, and sashes for the little flower girls. So that was all matching. And then the boleros, my mum always said bolero, but I think it's bolero. So that's why I'm a bit confused how you pronounce that. But the piece of music is bolero, isn't it? So I think they must be boleros. So this is so funny because the bride, she suddenly had to shoot off on this day, go and meet somebody at the roadside. But some of the boleros had come in one colour, and then the others had come with the wrong colour. And every time they got sent, they were the wrong colour. This kept happening, and so the person who she bought them through Amazon, but somebody's Amazon shop, and the person lived further away from where she was, so she was going to, rather than have to go to where the shop was, I think it was Liverpool or somewhere, rather than go all the way over to Liverpool, this person was in the area where they live, and she didn't see the message straight away. She only saw the message later when it was nearly time for the chap to go back. So she messaged him and said, "Look, I'll meet you part way on your way back," which is why she met him in a lay-by at the side of the road. But it was amazing. They were right. And that business owner pulled out the stops to get all her bolero. She could have got more, but these ones she'd got at a very good price. And the others would have been at least 2 or 3 times the price if she'd had to buy them again. So that was amazing. Let me have a drink. I'm going to have to go soon because I'm tired, but also My voice is scary. That's wonderful that it worked. It is, Heather. There were so many shenanigans, but everything seemed to work. But I think earlier on I told you that the phone is sitting on a shoebox. The shoebox I've had it for 19 years. It was the shoebox that my shoes that I had for my daughter's wedding came in that shoebox. But I've used the shoebox to keep this in over the years. And so I took this out, but obviously I want to put it back in the shoebox to keep it safe in the shoebox. So bags kept getting moved about. So as I say, the night we went up, Friday night, we stayed in a caravan 10 minutes away from the wedding venue. That we meaning me, my daughter's husband, and their 4 children. So there were 7 of us travelled up. My son-in-law drove us up, which was marvellous, really good driver. Am I still at my son's? No, I'm at my daughter's now, Susan. I'm back at my daughter's. And we travelled back yesterday afternoon. We had an amazing meet up on Sunday too. We had a breakfast near where my son and his wife live. There's a park, and there's an outside area where they have catering vans and picnic benches and things. And there is a little inside room. So if it had been too cold, I would have got put in there, but it wasn't too cold. It was a nice sunny day. I was wrapped up warm. Toby had warned the people that there were going to be a lot of us meeting there for breakfast, because obviously we didn't want them to be running out of food or anything. So we all went and met in the park and had breakfast. Not all of us, those of us who could. And we met up and had more chats and more funny stories and all that sort of thing. And it was wonderful. And then we left, and Craig, my son-in-law, drove us home. And you know what? That was a 2.5-hour journey, but I hardly noticed it because my daughter and I, they've got one of these people carriers. My daughter and I were sitting in the middle of the people carrier, and we were looking at all our photographs, and we didn't even notice 2.5 hours of journey go by. Suddenly we're back. It was amazing. We have so many beautiful pictures. All right, so Freeze It Park Life. Freeze It Park Lifestyle is going. Bye-bye. Excellent. Susan's saying it's really cold on the island at the moment. Freeze It Park Life. Thank you very much, Lynn. I must get sleep now. I wish you good night, and I'm happy for your next life. Thank you. Hopefully it will be Sunday next week. It was only Monday today because obviously I was with family doing family stuff yesterday. So nice. Thank you that you came in and joined us. That was wonderful. Yes. So, there were just amazing people. Claire, who came in earlier, she and I, she called me her purple twin. She was in the, I met her in the room where the bridesmaids were all getting ready. And she had a tiara, and she had sparkle, and she had the most amazing purple sparkly dress. And I said, I want the dress like that. I know where she got it, and I might even I don't know. But we just sparred off each other. We were just the same sort of personality, and it was lovely. So she's now following me, and she joined us in the broadcast earlier. Then she went to eat. I don't know. She might be back watching. I don't know. But it was lovely to see her. Then I met Lisa in the park yesterday. I hadn't spoken to her before, but she and we just got on like a house on fire. And she said, well, I'm going to watch you. Let me find you. So they were all trying to find me on social media. So I expect you might get to chat with some of these lovely people. There were just so many. I haven't told you half the funny things that happened. It was just so amazing. The speeches were lovely. We had just so much fun. But what I cannot get over is how much happiness was in that room. And, as I went round chatting to people, or stealing their hats or whatever I was doing at the time, um, I would ask them, how did they know the bride and groom? Who did they meet first, or did they meet them when they were already together, or whatever? I was learning all the backstories that I didn't know, and it was just so nice. But I was saying, you know, how lovely the event was and how nice everybody was speaking. But they were all telling me the wonderful stories about Toby and his lovely new wife, about how they oozed happiness and all that sort of thing. They all had such wonderful stories to tell about the bride and groom. Telling me about the bride and groom. They said, this is such a happy event because they're such a happy couple. And I tell you something, the bride, she loved every minute of that day. She came in and she almost skipped down the aisle. She was looking at all her lovely guests. It was just it was a wonder. It was just absolutely gorgeous. And my son, he was in tears. They wrote their own vows and things, and it was just, well, it was just even I don't normally cry at weddings. I enjoy them, but I don't usually cry. But I did have some tears yesterday, on Saturday. It was just, super. You've been engrossed, have you? What a wonderful time you and yeah, absolutely. It was. I, I've never experienced anything like it, and it was just so amazing. It was the best wedding ever. And bearing in mind I'd only had less than 2 hours sleep, the adrenaline kept me going. So yes, I knew who you were. I remembered who you were. um, and it was just the adrenaline kept me going. And then, even when I got back to my room, I didn't want to go to bed. I didn't want to take off my lovely outfit. I was just so happy. So anyway, I did, obviously. We had to be out of the venue by 10 o'clock. Otherwise, Toby would have had to pay a lot of money if we'd overstayed. But the friends were so amazing. There were so many things that needed to be gathered up. The bride had done all the table decorations. She'd planted planters and floral things on the tables. There were all sorts of other things around. They didn't have the traditional 3-tier wedding cake. They had 3 cakes placed in amongst the beautiful floral arrangements, 2 little gold cup lovebirds on top of one of the cakes. The cakes were made. She made one of the cakes. I think the other 2 were she ordered from a cake maker. I have to say, I had rum and raisin cake. Yes, I'd been on Slimming World. No, that was not Slimming World friendly. But you know what? It was one weekend, and I'd already lost 3.5 stones. So I think a bit of cake. I'd have to say I had more than one slice, but hey, you're like, yes, Steve. Steve is in the house. Steve has arrived in the house 2 hours and 12 minutes after I started. Lovely to see you, Steve. You'll have to watch the replay. I'm telling about the wedding of the century. Absolutely amazing. And the sun shone and the sky was blue. It was amazing. And I've got some pictures even of the trees against the blue sky. I love taking pictures like that, even, without people in it, just those sort of things. And it was just, everything was wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And my grandchildren did me so proud. They were lovely. They didn't get irritated with each other or anything like that. They were all wonderful. They all looked so grown up, dressed up. As I say, my grandson wearing a suit for the first time. He said, I rather liked wearing that suit. And he looked so amazing. And he was good, just so hashtag proud granny, hashtag proud mummy. My other son was one of the groomsmen. My daughter was the bridesmaid. I couldn't be happier, and I'm pretty sure my dad would have been watching down enjoying the scene too. So there we go. Steve saying, "Oh no." Oh, so Heather's saying, "Good evening, London, Steve." Steve said, "Hello." Heather saying, "I need to indulge myself sometimes, especially for that guy." Absolutely. Do you know what? I didn't care. I had crisps. I didn't go mega rogue. I had some crisps. I had three slices of wedding cake. It was a long day and it was beautiful. It was rum and raisin, that one. Um, and I asked them how they came to choose the venue they did. It was beautiful. It was a barn and it was decorated so well, twinkly lights and all that sort of thing, and a big love sign on the dance floor. They are vegan. Yeah, I did eat some for you. Yes, absolutely. I shared it. I shared. I had it on behalf of my community because I could. Um, Steve saying hello, USA, Heather. Hello, my Rebecca. I was saying, Steve, my daughter got a very bad cold on Wednesday and I picked it up on Thursday, but managed not to go too downhill. Kath had recommended nose spray to me weeks ago, which I had and I had been using, and it seemed to do the trick, but now it's very catarrhal. But this week is not a difficult week. Do you know what? I haven't done any knitting for over a week. What do you think? Um, so I'm going to do some knitting this week. I'm going to play with my new Cricut machine that I bought. I can't let it collect dust, can I? Because that would be rude. That would be rude to let it collect dust. I'm going to take this off. My head's getting hot and itchy. Oh, no. I tell you what. And just because I can, I'll be like the Duracell battery. The Duracell bunny. Is it the Duracell Energizer bunny? Ooh, which one ever it is. This reminds me, I've got to do some knitting for fundraising for Easter because my daughter would like me to do some of the little covers that go on the little chocolate eggs this time, not the orange covers like I did at Christmas. So many bugs going around still. There certainly are. But anyway, it didn't pull me down. It didn't stop me going to a beautiful wedding. There was one couple that couldn't make it to the wedding because they were sick. But that's what happens, isn't it? Sometimes it's just unfortunate. It's a white rabbit from Alice. Actually, it's grey. It's got white. It's grey, I think, isn't it? It's a grey one. I'm late. I'm late for a very important date. You keep using your machine. You don't forget. So I don't forget and I can get used to it. Absolutely. Oh, I am going to be playing with that machine. Of course, I was telling you earlier about how I didn't know how to cut, if I'd put multiple things on here, how I could do one bit at a time. Apparently, what you do is you put your design on and then you put a block round it. Heather will know this because she's got a machine. And so my son's fiance, she said that's what you do. I know what you meant, Kath. And then tonight, funnily enough, my daughter gets involved with Scouts and Cubs and all those sort of things. She does so much volunteering. Can't think where she gets all that from. And one of the other leaders came to see her about something, and we ended up talking about this machine. And I didn't know he's got. I mean, I've only met him once before. He's got a massive machine. I think it was bought for the scouting, or no, some organisation they used to be involved with, and they did great big lettering or vinyl lettering on vehicles and things like that, or signboards. And he's got rolls and rolls of great big rolls of vinyl, and he's got this big machine. And I was telling him about how, the story I've told you tonight about how I was trying to do the lettering and peel the stuff off and didn't know how to do it. And he said, "Oh, you block it." I said, "Yeah, I found out after the event." So But I know my son's fiance, she's just recently got a car, and she's done vinyl lettering on the side of her car. I mean, this machine has put my crafting on steroids, I think. Um, and I'm here at my daughter's this week. I don't know when I'm going back home again, but at some stage, and then I'll be back again. And so I'm going to be doing some crafting this week and some knitting. It's going to be a chill week. It's going to be just that sort of week, just taking it easy and gentle. She gets up, takes the kids to school. I don't have to get up. I used to do those things with her, but I don't get up now. I stay in bed. She sometimes brings me a coffee if she thinks I'm awake. If not, she brings me a coffee when she comes back. Sometimes she goes for a walk with her friends, leaves me, and then messages me when she's on her way home. Did I get the bandstand made? Heather, no, I didn't. Something had to give, and it wasn't going to be me. So Heather is asking me. Heather and I both bought. I don't know if I can see it on there. I can't. No, I'm not going to fish a fish now because there's a whole pile of things, and if I pull it, everything will fall on the floor. So Heather and I both bought die cuts of a bride and groom, and you made it up, and it made a bandstand out of card, a bandstand with a bride and groom in it, and the bottom was a gift box. And I was going to make it for them, but it was just one thing too much. I will make it. I might make it and send it to them with a little present in it after the event. I can if I want to. So I have got a lovely week, Kath. I have planned a lovely week. I think we'll go for coffee with my daughter's friend, the friend who she's known since she was at school, and the friend and her husband, they lived abroad for some time. They used to live further up country, and my daughter used to go and see her and her family. And now they've moved. They're here near where my daughter lives. I mean, they are going to move on again sometime soon. But it's so lovely because I don't have any friends left from school, but this is a really good friend of my daughter's, and I know her well now, and we have coffee with her regularly. And she was the one helping me to try and find shoes and a bag for my outfit. She was with me looking for jewellery and that sort of thing. It was just so nice. She's such a lovely girl. So when you see maybe 3 coffee cups together when I'm at my daughter's, we're in Costa. What I do is I usually buy a Costa gift card with my cash back, and then I get cash back, to build up towards the next thing I want. And that's who we're having coffee with usually. Steve doesn't think he's ever been to Hertfordshire, that is, for anybody who doesn't know. That's where Kath is now. She was on the island, but she's coming back. She's going to be on the island sometime when I'm on the island. We're going to go and try and coordinate our diaries so that we can meet up. But we did meet up near where my son lives because she's not that far away from where he is. Deb's not that far away. So I met up with Deb's and Kath while I was at my son's. So it's good. So Heather can't show hers online until after April the 26th. This is her bandstand. And the wedding, as you're the stand-in mum of the groom. Right, yeah, so you can't stand it. So yours. Well, it's a beautiful thing, and I might make it up just because I can. But I've been making so many things. There's no escape for me. No, there isn't any escape for me. Do I care? Am I bothered? I don't think so. I love it. I love it all too much. And oh, here's my silly glasses that I traded. Look, have you ever seen a rabbit wearing glasses? No, of course you can't. You haven't, because they eat their carrots, and they can't. If you eat your carrots, your eyesight's good. But this rabbit has not eaten its carrots. These were the glasses that I traded. Exciting to hear that. Yeah. It is exciting. So these glasses, I told you, I traded with the guy who had the hat with the feathers, and he had my glasses, and I had his hat. Then somebody whipped the glasses out of his hand. And I said, oh, well, if you haven't got the glasses, you won't get the hat back if you don't give me the glasses. Anyway, all just joking. It was all good humour. Anyway, the glasses disappeared. So then I said to my son, I would give him a reward, but not my son, my grandson, who's 11. I said I would give him a reward if he could find my glasses. Well, you can see they did get found because I have them. But he he went looking for them and didn't find them. I said, it doesn't matter. Somebody else found them and gave them to me, but I will still give you the reward because you went to look for them and you didn't say, oh, Granny, do I have to? So he didn't even, do that sort of moan. It was amazing. So I got my glasses back. Now, these glasses remind me of somebody that I used to be friends with who doesn't like me now. And this is an aside. I mean, it's a bit of my hobby horse, and those of you who know what my hobby horse is might know what's coming. So, as I say, I've had a beautiful weekend, wonderful time. I've told you so much about the wedding. I've probably left loads of bits out, but I will be putting more pictures up online. But I'm not quite sure if I can put the bride and groom up. They wanted a very private wedding and not social media. They're not social media people. We've never put the children up anyway, any of the children. And that's always been the same for any of my grandchildren. When my grandchildren were little, my other grandchildren, I might do baking with them and you might see a hand in a bowl. But that's as far as it went. You couldn't see the children. We don't put the children into the pictures. This day and age, you've got to be so careful, haven't you? So we don't do any of that. And as I say, the bride and groom wanted a very private affair. They did put a message out saying, if you're putting pictures of some of the guests up, please make sure the guests have given you permission. And all the guests that I have put pictures up, they've all said it was okay. I did ask them. Then there was the poor guy Rabbit. Oh, the guy who was called Rabbit, not the guy with rabbit ears. No, that's me. He he was standing by the wall. He was just changing his shoes. Like we all do, I changed my shoes. I took these off and put Crocs on because they were more comfortable. But he was changing his shoes, and he just changed one. He was leaning on the wall, bringing his leg up to change his other shoe. And I started chatting to him, and it was like he sort of stood him halfway up with his leg. Used to them, I don't know. Lynn, how can anyone not like you? Oh, there are. I'll tell you who doesn't like me. The person who had another pair of these. I'll tell you in a minute. But we don't care. Tracy knows what's coming. Kath knows what's coming probably because she knows who doesn't like me and what my hobby horse is. I've got to the point where I don't care if people don't like me. That's their problem. If they don't want to be my friend, that's okay. Scroll on by. Go and do something else. But do something productive. So poor Rabbit. Sorry, I laugh at my own things half the time. But he was standing there. He was a really nice guy. And actually, as I started to talk about Rabbit, I didn't realise how well it's going to link in to what I'm going to tell you about this in a minute. It's their very big loss, absolutely, Kath, because they wouldn't know any of you lovely people. They could know all you lovely people if they linked with me, and actually they could do a huge amount of good stuff for the Isle of Wight as well if they linked with us, because I know you all help me when I want to do my stuff for the Isle of Wight. So anyway, poor Rabbit, there he was, leaning against the wall with his foot up in the air, trying to change his shoe. And I engaged him in conversation, and it's about half an hour later, it's like I pinned him to the wall. He was such an interesting guy, and he came from Cornwall. Now, I didn't know he came from Cornwall until I started telling him a bit about the Isle of Wight. And no, how it went, you know, lots of people want to wonder how I became the Go Live Granny and how my live streaming journey started. And if anybody's watching and doesn't know, I'll give a quick potted uh, version of that. So in 2016, I was very frustrated because we got this new marketing company for the Isle of Wight, who is a very corrupt organisation, and they managed to con the council into letting them market the island after a disastrous load of marketing companies who haven't got a bloody clue how to market. Sorry, excuse my language, but it just makes it like that. So they to Visit Isle of Wight managed to con the council into letting them be the marketing people. And they were going to introduce this bid. And the bid had to go through a ballot. And then they were going to tax people in order to get money to market the island, which actually you could do. You could market the island very cheaply by using community and not conning money out of people. Sorry, that's my version, and I will stick to it, and I will show them how to do it if they could even be bothered to watch. So anyway, oh dear. Do you know, I feel like I'm drunk, but I'm not. I haven't had any alcohol. I've just had coffee. Excuse me. Steve hasn't been to Cornwall since he was a kid. He used to go to, in your trailer tent, and I'll tell you about it anyway. That's a good cup of coffee. Thank you, my darling. So, and yes, at this time of night, I do have decaf coffee now. I didn't used to, but I think, wasn't it Kath who suggested decaf coffee? Oh my goodness. And so, and I do sleep much better not having caffeine at this time of night. But except on a wedding night when I, can have 2 hours sleep and I only managed to get an hour and a half. I did have more the next time. I slept so well after that. It was amazing. So anyway, oh dear, I do go off at a tangent, don't I? And I forget half the time what I'm going to say. But no, so this poor rabbit is pinned against the wall. And not quite, but he was standing near the wall and I was just standing in front of him. And we did joke about it, and we joked about it again yesterday morning. I said, oh, did you tell your friends I pinned you to the wall and wouldn't let you go till I'd heard, all your history and all that? And they all laughed. They thought it was hilarious. John says, hello, Lynn, but he is glum because he has scraped his car bumper. It's not life-threatening, tell him. Just see it as an extra decoration. Would you like me to cut some vinyl out on my machine to stick along the bumper? Some pretty pattern to go along like it was supposed to be. It was your hairdresser who suggested you go on the decaf. Was it? Was it my hairdresser? Yes, it was. I thought it was you, Kath. Sorry. And you just suggest lots of good things to me. I thought it was you. Never mind. It was my hairdresser. Thanks for giving her the credit. Anyway, poor rabbit. He's standing there. And I introduced myself as a Go Live Granny. And then I sort of said, I thought I'd better tell him why I'm called the Go Live Granny and what I do. So very potted history about how I started being the Go Live Granny to promote the Isle of Wight, because this terrible organisation called Visit Isle of Wight haven't got a clue how to market the island, and they were not going to use YouTube. YouTube's a wonderful channel for marketing somewhere like the Isle of Wight, because you just take your camera and you go round and you show everybody what's happening. That's a good way, isn't it? Is that not a good way to promote a beautiful island? What do I know? I'm a 74-year-old granny. Haven't got a clue, have I? Haven't got a clue that if I go out there and video all that beautiful scenery and all these beautiful carnivals and all these other things, that people might like the Isle of Wight. Oh no, I better do it the way it's been done today, you will die. I'm going to get you to go and look at these things and give me your opinion, because they have done some marketing today that I don't know how they're not ashamed of, how they can say they're marketing the island Oh, I'll tell you anyway. So let me finish telling you about this rabbit. Tell them to bring his car to the island, Kath. With all the silly drivers around, he might get a matching scratch on the other side. He would. I've seen more accidents going on the island this week, apparently. Um, Steve says we all had decaf this evening. Unfortunately, at this time of night, it has another effect. Excuse me, too much conversation, too much information, I think that is. Frequent tinkle trips in the middle of the night. Absolutely. There we are, back to the toilet. How to come. Oh, sorry, I'm being told to be shush. Okay, I'll try. I'll finish soon. Shut the door. I've got to finish soon because I'm making too much noise. What?
She knows there's a present in here for her.
All right. Sorry, my daughter's just retrieving something. So, Kath says she didn't know I was drinking caffeinated coffee at night. I used to drink squash. She would have mentioned it before. It was just trying to make me giggle. Yes, and you do make me giggle. That's okay. I mustn't giggle too much because they're trying to sleep next door. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me if I take my voice down like this? So I should have done the broadcast downstairs, shouldn't I? But anyway, so poor Rabbit, I've given him the history of how I became the Go Life Granny. So it was really to promote the island because those silly people don't know how to do it. So my son taught me how to live stream and show the beauty of the island on YouTube and on Facebook and all that. So that's good. I'm glad you can hear. So that's why I became the Go Life Granny. So I told him that. And I said about Visit Isle of Wight. And then I said, well, of course, Cornwall, they get it right. They know how to do it. And, and that's why people go to Cornwall. And he said, I come from Cornwall, which was amazing. And then we had this most amazing conversation around that sort of thing and the travel and the marketing. And then he was a very interesting guy to talk to, and I'd love to talk to him again some more. I'm not quite sure he would like to talk to me again. I think he would. He seemed to enjoy it. And so it was fun. And yes, he was sitting with his friends at breakfast in the park on that picnic bench, and I said, "Oh, hello, Rabbit," and I said, "Oh, I'm not rabbiting to you anymore now, am I?" I said, "I let you get away," and all his friends laughed. So he'd obviously had a chat about that. So now the wedding's finished, and today is the start of English Tourism Week. Okay, so let's promote English tourism. So do you think, no, I don't know how to phrase this. The CEO of Visit Isle of Wight has put on LinkedIn. So I want you all to look afterwards. I want you to look on LinkedIn, if any of you are on LinkedIn, and I want you to go to the Visit Isle of Wight LinkedIn page and see how the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight thinks you market the island at the beginning of Tourism Week. I want you to go and look further down and see how the Councillor for Tourism, who used to be my friend, who used to have a pair of glasses like my glasses, and we went to Isle of Wight Radio with our glasses on like this, and we had I know it's radio, but you still have to wear glasses when you go to the radio station, don't you? And we were interviewed and we did community stuff together. But I've got my glasses. I don't know if she still has hers. I'm not sure I'm bothered, actually. But anyway, she did have a lovely hat on in her video. She's got a teacup on her head. And yes, I do like the teacup. And yes, I would love a hat like that. But that was the good bit. The other bit was not so good. Again, trying to market English Tourism Week on the beach in Sandown. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then there was a third one. A third video on LinkedIn Visit Isle of Wight's page on LinkedIn, and it was one of our 2 MPs. We used to have 1 MP, now we have 2 MPs, and one of them was doing a video in Cowes High Street. So, okay, my idea of marketing the island is to show off how beautiful the island is. Yes, sometimes I'm in the picture talking, and I will say, oh, look, I'm standing on Ryde seafront. Look at this beautiful pier. Look at the hovercraft coming in. And then I turn the camera so that you can look at the things that are beautiful. Those are the way I do it. The CEO of Visit Isle of Wight is standing at Freshwater. You know, Kath, because you lived in Freshwater, outside the Albion Hotel, where I was doing a video the other day. But when I did the video, I didn't stand completely in the picture and just talk like that. I showed people what was all around me. And he's standing there, and he's not the smallest person. But then I didn't used to be as small as I am. Not the smallest person. And he's standing right, filling the picture out. You can't see the needles in the back. The needles is one of the 7 wonders of the Isle of Wight. So actually, if he stood like this and you saw the needles, that might have been a bit better. But he stood there and he said, oh, we're just talking about English Tourism Week. And 38% of the island economy is all to do with tourism. Well, then get out of the way. Let the people see how beautiful the Needles is. Pan round. Show the Albion Hotel, who you are taxing on a big levy. Turn round and show the beautiful Gate Cafe that I was in the other day, and tell people how wonderful these places are. I messaged Ronan, who runs the Gate Cafe, and I said, I showed him that picture. I sent that video to him. I said, what a shame. I said, did he come over to your cafe and get a cup of coffee? He said, he said, I saw him making that video. He said, I didn't know who he was. And Ronan is helping me fight to get rid of this horrible tax. And we're just this tax has been put on these people they've had it for the last 9 years. It comes up for ballot again next year. Everybody's getting very cross, and this time I think they're going to help me get rid of it. There's going to be a legal challenge. That's not down to me, that's down to someone I know. But so anyway, Ronan runs the Gate Cafe with his wife, and I was over there the other day, and that's why I was taking pictures at Freshwater. He didn't go in there for a cup of coffee. No, they pay a tax to pay his wages. The Albion Hotel pays a tax to pay his wages. He stood there. He didn't even say, look, this is a beautiful hotel that you can stay in. Just up there is Dimbler Lodge. Over there is, that's what oh, don't even get me started. It was abysmal. And then the next one, I showed my granddaughter the next one. It was Julie Jones Evans, who is the tourism counsellor. The only bit of it I liked was the fact that I liked her hat. I liked the beach. It was beautiful. But she's standing there on Sandown Beach, and I said to my granddaughter, what do you think of this as a marketing thing, just to see a younger person's view? She said, well, wouldn't it be a good idea if there were some people on the beach? So it was a completely empty beach. Yes, it might look nice, but if you're going to try and sell something, show that people like being on it. Maybe I've got it badly wrong. Maybe she has. So that was a no-no. They're not saying anything about the beautiful island. They're just standing plonked in the middle of the video. And then the last one was the MP standing in Cowes High Street. Now, the MP, he runs a cafe, or he did, so he should be a levy payer. I don't know where he stands on this, but he was in Cowes High Street. Now, I'm sitting here, and you can see, surround here, you can see my dress, you can see some bits over there. He was right up like this in the picture, further, filling the whole picture. And he's saying, I'm standing in Cowes High Street, and there's some wonderful shops here. And this is English Tourism Week. I put underneath on the comment, would it be a good idea if you go and show us some of those lovely shops? You couldn't see anything except him. So this was a promotion of the CEO, the Councillor for Tourism, and one of the MPs. But that's not what we want to see. That's not what they're paying their levy for. Kath saying freshwater paint is beautiful. Yes, as long as it hasn't got the CEO of Visit Isle of Wight standing right in the way. Or if he is standing in the way, then move out of the way to say, look how beautiful it is. So, I mean, Kath, go and look at Visit Isle of Wight's page on LinkedIn. Or I can share. I'm going to share the post. And do you know what? I don't care. What can they do to me if I make these comments? I've got a page on Facebook called No White's Bid, and people want me to get it more active now so that we can actually bring in all the people who want to vote no, and we can make sure they've got the ballot papers when we go back to ballot next year. But if we get the legal challenge going, then hopefully it will get kicked out. What has happened is somebody who helped me try and fight the bid 4 years ago. So, I mean, people have been paying this bid, some people for 9 years. And one of the cafe owners that I know personally, he sent me a picture of his summons this morning. He's got a summons for not paying his levy. And he didn't pay it before. He wrote and asked them what he was getting for his money. So his case was, his account was put on hold, and he never got an answer. So, but today he's got a summons and he's got money added on because he hasn't paid his summons. So it's more than doubled what it originally was. And he gets nothing. They get nothing. They're not. The people aren't even marketing the island. It wouldn't be so bad if they were paying a levy. Marketing was being done. It's not being done. And they don't even go and say hello to their levy payers, the people who pay their wages. So anyway, I spoke to my son who knows about these things today, and he said if that was on hold, they can't do that and send a summons in straight away. They're wasting court time now because he hasn't had an answer to the request, which is why the account was on hold. So there's all that stuff going on. Oh, what shenanigans? Shenanigans. It's not shenanigans. It's nastier. Shenanigans usually has a bit of a fun element to it. This is nasty stuff going on. They don't care. They don't promote the island. They haven't got a clue. As my granddaughter said, she's 17, nearly 18. Shouldn't there be some, shouldn't there be some people on the beach? And they're not even saying, come to the Isle of Wight, or they're not, they won't listen to me. But any of you new people here might not know that I went out and I live streamed carnival after carnival, and I was showing what happens on the island. Yes, sometimes you saw me on camera, but I was talking to the audience and then swiveling round, showing. We were having thousands of people watching those videos while I was doing them. This is not about me, it's about a community working together. Because when I did those videos, I said, please, will you share these videos? And the community came up trumps and they shared them. When we wanted to get that beach that she was standing on voted as the best beach in the Country Fun Awards, I went on camera time after time and said, please, can you get on and vote for this? And please, will you share it? So although I was the one initially pushing the button, it was everybody else who jumped in and did what a community do together, and share and share and share. We've got a thing going at the moment that one of our residents of the island is up for the super tourism hero. Now, people from the Isle of Wight have won that twice in the past. That's a great boost for the island, but they're not doing much towards it. Visit Isle of Wight. When we were voting for things before, like we came together as a community to get Ride Carnival to be uh, the most popular carnival in the country. It was about group work, teamwork. I would get on camera and say, please, can you vote? You know, Ride was in the top 11 of this thing, and what a boost for the island if we get to number one. So my son taught me to do this. So you remember doing a live stream on the open top bus tour? Absolutely, Tracy. That's what it's all about. I asked you, and you all delivered. That was it. It was working together as a community. And so I've lost my thread. Let me have a bit of coffee. But it's a numbers game. It's about sharing. Sharing is caring. It's one of my catchphrases, if you like, or whatever. You know, I would ask you to share and then ask you to ask your friends to share. And if you multiply and multiply like that and everybody shares, the numbers could go up, which is why I say you could market the island without a marketing budget by using the community. Nearly everybody has a smartphone and they can get on and they can do all these things. And it breaks my heart to see these absolutely, I don't know, I don't want to swear on camera. I don't want to say anything too rude, but I'm thinking rude because these people, those 3 videos are all about them filling up the screen. I know on here I'm filling the screen, but this is my screen time with you chatting. At least it's interacting. They're not. And I will be as critical as I can because they haven't got a bloody clue. Ailey's just got home from Inverness. Hope you had a wonderful time at your son's wedding. Do you like your? Oh, I love my new daughter-in-law to bits. She's been like family for so long. She's been with my son for 11 years, and it's been amazing. It was an amazing wedding and wonderful. And now we're back down to earth with a bang. So, folks, one thing I will do this week, I didn't want to do it, but I do want to do it. I want the girl who's up for the Super Tourism Hero, I want her to win. And I want to do it for the island. I don't want Will thinking he's done it and he's the best one since sliced bread if she wins. When she wins. We've got till the 23rd of March to get the votes in. I haven't been doing it, but today I decided I wanted to do it. It's I'll have to find the link. And if you watch my pages, folks, I want you to share and share and share. So it is, and I don't know if anybody, Tracy, I don't know if you could find the superhero. If you go on Visit Isle of Wight's page, which I don't really want you to do, but you might have to do it. If you can find the voting for the tourism superhero, you'll find it because it is on their page, in the thread on their page. I want the link, if anybody could get the link for the voting, to vote. I think her name's Zeb. She works at the Wild Heart Sanctuary, and if she gets enough votes, that will be, she'll put her number 1 in the country for the tourism superhero. It would do the island good, and I would be pleased. But I don't know if, are you able to find it, either you or Kath or one of you? I don't know, maybe somebody could find it. I'll chat on a little bit more, see if we can get it in there. After all, we're not quite at 3 hours. I'm sure I can go to 3 hours plus. It counts a lot to get on with family. I loved your beautiful dress, Papa. Yeah, look, it's there. It's there. I loved it. It was 19 years old, Ailey. I bought it for my daughter's wedding 19 years ago. The cape's new, the shoes are new, the bag was new, but this was the original that went with it. But yeah, so folks, yes, I do want to, I do want to get Visit Isle of Wight out because they're not doing what they're paid to do. They're not doing what all these levy payers' money goes to do. They are just, they haven't got a clue about marketing. I don't know if any of them have studied it. I didn't study it. My son just told me how to do it. I may not be the best, but I've had thousands and thousands of views to the videos. Some of them I'm going to start sharing again. You lost your voice, Lynn. Hope you're not kissing too many strange men at the wedding. The chance would be a fine thing. I didn't kiss too many, but I did have lots of wonderful conversations with a lot of men. Most of them a lot younger than me, but it was wonderful. I had a wonderful time. And lots of fun. I will live on these memories for a very long time. And I hope that you have enjoyed hearing them all. I mean, you'll still hear some of you, and I'm, coming up for 3 hours. I knew it would be a long one tonight, but that's the nature of it. I would have loved to have done it last night, but I needed to wind down. I was in bed at 10 o'clock last night, and I had a very good night's sleep last night. And I can't get on the bed at the moment. At the moment, there's a whole pile of clothes and craft stuff, and there was a lot of craft stuff on this table, and I tipped it onto the bed so I could live stream. But so anyway, I don't know if anybody's going to find the link. I don't know if you can. Is that possible or not? Is it? Let me know. I can't see. So lovely to hear all about your weekend. I knew it would be action-packed. Nothing in my life is ever without shenanigans. Oh, I did forget to tell you one of the. I think I forgot to tell you. Did I tell you about my son? He still had the security tag on his trousers of his suit for the wedding. I don't think I told you. Oh, brilliant. There she is. Look, Tracy's found it. Look, excellent. Tracy, I think I'm going to have to give you some more gold stars. Or would you like silver stars this time? Or purple stars? Good night, Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. And Patricia, we will be on the case. Poor Patricia's. I'm just going to tell this. This is one of the things that's happening to our local businesses on the island. Patricia's sister runs a cafe on the island. She will be having to pay the levy to this terrible organisation to pay their wages for standing there, filling up the screen. But she runs a cafe, and Kath. You think Tracy needs multicoloured this time? She does need multicoloured stars. She certainly does. She needs bunting this time. So Kath knows how I feel about Visit Isle of Wight. I've never minced my words, and Kath is sort of very obviously watching and helpful to me. So earlier today, she tagged me in a video, or she sent me a video of somebody standing opposite Patricia's sister's cafe. It's called the Copper Kettle. It's a wonderful cafe. I've been in there. I must go again sometime soon. But they were seating outside, and she used to have just tables and chairs. Now she's been forced to put a barrier around that has cost her £1,000. I think this is the figure. This is the Isle of Wight Council for you. So she's got a barrier that she's had to put £1,000 worth It cost £1,000. Then on top of that, she's now had to up her public liability insurance to some huge level. So this is all extra money she's paying, and she's paying the levy. And I bet you Visit Isle of Wight staff have never been to her cafe and never spoken to her. The only interaction they have is that they send the bill to the council to send to them, and then they dine out on the money, but they certainly don't promote. Right? So Ailey's saying last time that she lost her voice was because she was talking too much. Do you know that people that have had a lot of bad chest infections lost their voice? More get well soon. Lynn, I will stop talking in a minute. Tracy would just like to feel better and shift the flu. If you could take my flu off me, you'd be grateful. Sorry, Tracy, I don't want it. Let's give it to Will. Let's give it to those people. They are pretty crazy. Yes, she's saying, is that the cafe in Shanklin you're talking about? Yes, it is. It's if you're going towards Ryde. If you're going towards Ryde, it will be on the left. If you're going the other way, it'll be on the right as you go through. Patricia's saying she doesn't think Patricia doesn't think she's had any contact with them at all. Well, do you know what? If they're standing in Freshwater Bay making this marvellous video about our wonderful island, how sad that they can't walk across to the cafe that was a few yards away. And I bet you anything they didn't go in the Albion Hotel either. And the chap who runs the cafe, I said, I started to tell the story earlier. I said, have you seen this? Did he come in your cafe? He said, I didn't know who he was. He said, I saw him doing the video and I went out there, and he stopped videoing when I went out there. He said, and he was parked illegally. So what's well coming to, you know. But this is it. I asked them years ago, do they go and see their levy payers? Because that, if I was doing that sort of marketing, I would go in all those cafes, I would go in all those hotels, I would get on board with them and say, give me your material so I can market the island. You know, they've already paid. They've paid. Market them back in return. They say their idea is to market the island, not to market the individual businesses. Using the businesses will market the island, because if you've got wonderful things going on the island, that is what makes the island glow in other people's views. Congratulations to Glasgow Rangers winning the football. Well, I didn't know anything about that. I knew there was a match on, but I didn't know much about it. Susan suffers badly from chest infections, and generally one of her first symptoms now is lack of voice, normally for around 2 weeks, annoyingly. Oh, I'll tell you something. My new daughter-in-law, when a few weeks ago, she lost her voice, and she lost it for weeks. But I tell you, she had it back to say I do yesterday. Not yesterday, on Saturday. So, folks, I think I need to leave and rest my voice. I need to clear my bed. I need to go to bed and sleep. Thank you so much for joining me. We have had 3 hours, 2 minutes, and 43 seconds. If any of you are willing, please go to the link that, let's see, where did she put it? Tracy put the link up. There, look. That's the link. I don't know if any of you can screenshot it so that you can go off and find it in a while. That would be really good. Tracy, could you possibly drop it in my messenger box? That will save me, so I can put it on my page in a minute when I've finished on here. That would be marvellous. So let's just see. Kath is saying she was so cross when she saw the video of the chap opposite, taking the video of the car. He was so cross. That guy was so cross. That's why he took the video, because he was thinking it's not fair. There have been a lot of comments on that thread, and I've been on there telling people I want to spread how the news, how bad the bid is. Lots of people don't even know that somewhere like the Copper Kettle would be paying the levy as well. I said, not only are they paying all those fees, they're paying the levy. So I make sure lots of people know that. Sending healing thoughts and prayers. Tracy, can you message it to me, please, as it's now showing in my chat? It's not showing in your chat for some reason. Okay. So Kath saying she was so cross when she saw the video, Patricia. She was even more cross when Lynn said it was when I said it was your sister. Absolutely. I mean, and it's hard enough for Patricia's sister anyway. She recently lost her husband as well. We need to pour healing love in. We do not need to batter these people until they've got, they've just got nothing left in them to fight. It's terrible. And the thing is, as I maintain, if you keep doing that sort of thing, these people could go out of business because they can't afford to do all these things. And then what happened? You won't get your taxes, you won't get your levy. It's counterproductive to be like that. You won't get anything, and it's not a way to go. Anyway, folks, with that said, I need to go. I'm struggling now even to get a sound out. Thank you, Tracy, if you can send it to me as well. That would be wonderful. Okay, folks, so I am going to love you and leave you. And I hope you enjoyed the story of the shenanigans and all the other things. I think I missed out some of the shenanigans. I'm sure I did, because I'm sure there are a lot more. But what with a security tag on my son's trousers, they did manage to get it off. Fortunately for him to go to his wedding ceremony without a great big adornment on his trousers. Terrible, terrible. But there you go. Life happens. So let's Steve's saying he's done that before, having the tags still on. Yeah, I think probably we've finished all the comments, have we? Let's just see. Ailey started to cough now. The bus from Inverness was 45 minutes late and it was very cold outside. Oh, bless you. Night, night, Steve. Night, night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. And if you could vote for the tourism person and share and get other people to vote, that will be marvellous. I will be putting that link up until we get to the 23rd, which is the last day to vote. Night, night, everybody. See you soon. Love you lots. And have a wonderful week. And hopefully next week it will be Sunday that I live stream. Thank you, Kath.